Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Welcome back once again to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Starting a little off on the time I scheduled for a little bit later. I'm sitting around feeling inspired, and I thought, hey, I'm only waiting for time. How ironic when the topic I want to discuss is being in the present. So here we are, brothers and sisters, those of you who have already tuned in, found your way here. Bless you sincerely. Thank you. And Cynthia, I think you were in the thumbnail. Today's a day of fun. That's what I'm thinking about, is a day of fun. And already dropped the link for those who wish to join. It's pinned to the top. Oh, blessings, Machine Lies as well. Golly geez, yes. Happy Saturday to all. And what is welcome. Blessings to everyone. You know, I didn't make a lot of notes today, but I had a wonderful day today already. And I've been observing why. How? I'm always wondering why. What's working? What's not working? Why? What should change? What should not change? It's so friggin' blatantly simple. The key to life? Hey, the key to life is to flow. Welcome, flow state.
You got laid.
No.
You seem like you got laid.
I exercised.
Oh. I don't know whether to be impressed that you did that or disappointed that it's such a dramatic shift from that's Jack, Jesus.
I went for a jog today, and that was abnormal for me. I've never enjoyed running. I still don't know if I do, but I know it's good for me.
I was really good at it, but I never liked it. I did cross country 1 year, and I was so good at it that when my little brother graduated 4 years after me, the cross country coach, I said hi to him at the graduation, and he just started right back up bitching at me because I never did anything, because he wanted me to run cross country and I just wasn't going to do it. Like, fuck that. Spending every day running 5 miles. Come on.
I know.
I might be good at chewing aluminum foil too, but I'm not going to do it.
It's funny. Well, I know it's supposed to be good for us, so I went out, and it's 28 degrees out, so it was a nice chilled morning, and what I was realizing is my goal, kind of in line with the idea of an eternal life. What if you are eternally present, like always right here in the moment?
I feel like that's basically how I am. And it's got its drawbacks because I suck at planning. I basically don't plan anything at all ever.
Okay. I can relate to that. I don't even like to make plans. I'd rather just, when it's time to do it, do it.
Yeah. I don't make plans. If anything needs to be planned, my girlfriend will coordinate it with whoever needs to plan it. Yeah.
That's the way.
No, it's a bit of the ADD thing, I think. At least that's what they tell me.
It's those labels, man. Whatever those labels are, I think you're doing it right. Because if that's what you're doing, you're constantly present. That's what we're supposed to be. Now, the next step.
It works good until it's you running around in the snow with a chainsaw like a maniac because it started snowing and you knew it was going to start snowing, but you didn't cut up firewood. So that was my afternoon.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good
Yeah,
job
no,
for
that was a
you.
real life example from like half an hour ago.
Hey, good job for you though. You got some caught up. You've
I
better
do.
prepared now.
Yep,
Good for you, man. See, so now you get that feeling of a job well done, something completed as well.
that's right. And I got that awesome feeling of oh fuck, which is it's about the proper feeling to get something done, right? Oh fuck, should
It's
have
a
done more.
motivator.
Yep.
That's for sure. Hey, the other part that I was going to add, beyond the being focused constantly on the present, the next step is gratitude. So even when it's oh fuck, all right, we can still enjoy and you know
Yeah.
enjoy getting it done.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun rushing around with a chainsaw in the snow. But do you hear those guns? Can you hear those gunshots?
Mm-mm.
Somebody's just dumping ammo somewhere that way. Um,
In the house.
no. It's just it's a very small caliber if it's inside the house. Uh, but yeah, because there's no there's what's the repercussion of not getting it done, right? Well, our bedroom's gonna be cold because that's where the fireplace is. Not the end of the world. We've got central heat. We've got space heaters. This part of the house just doesn't get that warm. But yeah. So there's low repercussions. But exercise, back to that, is like critical for people's happy juice.
I was reminded of that in a video I watched earlier today too. It was reinforced for me, but before, I don't know if it was before or after the run, I was paying attention to my daily practice, and I feel good. I mean, 50 years old, I never felt this good in my life. And
You must have been a sick kid.
I wasn't that healthy. I was obese. Not obese, but yeah, I
You
was.
must dye your hair too.
No, no, I don't do
You
that.
don't have very much gray, do you? I
It's
mean, beard, yeah.
yeah. No, up here, not yet. Not too bad. But the other key I figured out for myself are spines, the back. That is so important for our mobility.
Yeah, no shit.
Every day I spend time just stretching and manipulating my spine, and it just feels good, and then it feels like there's a space around your spine, and it feels like you're expanded, your posture gets better. And when you feel good, you're more active, more likely to get up and, and get the wood chopped before the snow falls. Whatever. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I do construction, so I'm just, and yeah, I'm pretty active regardless. But I mean, the exercise is what I chalk up, not all of it, but a lot of. I'm so much happier making a bit less. It's not even that much less money, really. Actually, it's probably about the same now. Um, but happier doing this as an independent contractor than I am being a banker or was being a banker. Just sitting there like hating life. But not realizing you hated life because you went straight from school to college to job to and never got a break to go, oh wait, this is actually a shitty way to live, just like chained to a desk forever.
I wasn't chained to a desk, but I was chained to an employer.
That's also shitty. Anybody telling you what to do is shitty.
It
Or
was.
why or asking you why you were 15 minutes late this morning. I had to tell my last boss I finally, because he'd ask me that every fucking day. And finally I told him, I said, Keith, you have to, I said, stop asking me why I'm 15 minutes late. I'm always going to be 15 minutes late. I always am. You can deal with it or you can hire somebody else. I mean, he just kept asking me that fucking question. I knew he wasn't going to do anything.
Dude, if you were running, well, you know what?
What?
If it was your operation, what would you expect?
I would I would ex- I would expect I would be hiring people for a job, for a specific function, and they just need to get it done. I've hired people
All right.
before. I'm not a micromanager. Actually will refuse to do that. I don't
See,
care what time you come in. I don't care what time you leave. If you get your work done early, by all means do whatever. But your shit needs to be. I don't want to have to wait on you or manage you.
respect. I can see that. My path in life, I guess I had to learn the value of obedience, something, because that was the path I ended up. I know what it was. It's, hey, you know what? I'm a product. I'm a pretty ordinary. I think I'm a pretty ordinary product of our society. I mean, in the Western world,
You do.
America. You too?
No, I said you do, huh?
I do. I was taught to obey.
Yeah.
Did my best to obey, and I didn't know who I was, or I didn't even know who I was obeying, actually, when you really stop and think about it. I don't know who made the rules, registered car, paid taxes, and all that shit. I never met those people. Who are they to tell me what to do? But I did learn the value of working together with obedience for a purpose for the team, in the military.
I come from kind of a generation or a tradition of disobedience, I think. So I wasn't.
Oh, I was rebellious. But see, this is where the problem was. I was rebellious and obedient.
That's
So
so you're just confused.
exactly. That is exactly what it was. And I bet that's what's wrong with most people, to be honest.
Is they're confused or
They live in normalized states of confusion where they're less aware of what's happening right now and more focused on what's going on in their mind.
I think people are constantly in a stress state, right? People are always stressed about something and they never come out of it.
That too, it becomes patterns. We humans are amazing. We normalize anything. I mean,
Even
let's
chopping your penis off for your mental health.
for mental health.
Yeah, it's sex change operation, right?
Oh, that thing, that part. Okay. I thought I went to circumcision.
Which
I thought
dude, that
religion.
came up the other night. Were you there when I don't remember where we even were. Maybe it was Cynthia's. Um, I brought it up because it's just what a wild way to like format the brain of a new human, right? Oh, hey, welcome to the world. Whack. Like that's got to have a personality impact somewhere.
I I'm confident it does. There's people who have been studying all sorts of things about trauma and even things like that. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that there's data showing that that trauma is carried on. But this is the way of the world. And this is what I'm telling you, the more I'm becoming confident and at peace in the present, recognizing I'm not in denial. I don't have, well, anyway, I'm confident I'm not wrong.
They've got a word for that.
What's that?
They have a word for that. I think it's hubris, right?
Hubris. That
Yeah.
might be right. I'd have to look it up. Hold on, man.
Not wrong about what?
About what I've been experiencing and what I'm learning is true for me. And I'm confident what's true for me would work for others. Oh, exaggerated pride or self-confidence. That's where I'm trying to caution myself, right? I don't want to exaggerate my claims in the slightest. I'd rather be I'd rather undersell, right?
Err on the side of caution.
Yes. But honestly, from experience, what I've realized is humans, we overcomplicate things. And the all of the religions point to the same thing. We just become peace and love and allow time to flow with us, and we don't create the resistance and we don't create the conflicts. And this was what I practiced in my own mind earlier today, is that stillness. I imagined, okay, there's an order to everything. Nature, biology, physics, it all works. It's perfect. So there's a perfection to the past that brought us to the present. And so if the past is complete,
I don't know if it was perfect getting here, but we got here.
right? It's kind of ugly
It was
from
pretty there's a lot of
oh
it wasn't linear improvement.
yeah. No, amen. Especially in my own life, man. But the past
I've taken a few dips backwards myself.
the past is complete. And so right now is just a new beginning. And every day and every moment is just a new beginning.
I know that you operate like that more than I do.
I think that's the key, though, honestly. It's how we're
I don't, but to each their own, I suppose. In this case, to each their own is a fair answer to that.
respect. You're absolutely right. But
as I'm confident that I always am.
well, we always are. That's the paradox of this realm we are experiencing. This is what I've realized. It's not so much the form. What did I write? Oh,
Buy toilet paper.
huh?
Is that what you wrote?
No, I was watching
Running out of stocks.
I was watching that guy Shunya Murti again earlier, and he's a very spiritual teacher as well. He was pointing out that the connection between our soul that's beyond this, and the connection between our soul and God, it's one of divine love. They know each other. Our soul and God, they know one another. It's here that we lose sight of that. But our awareness can keep us trapped in this material form, in the physical form, in the worldly form of the past, or we can raise our awareness, not raise, but shift our awareness into being one with the soul, one with God, one with love in the eternal present. The eternal life would be beyond time.
Sometimes you say things that sound like a string of hot words and it loses me entirely. And I'm not sure if you're saying things or if I don't know, it just loses me. You probably are communicating a thought, but
it's kind of a yes.
There's a lot of
I understand
metaphysical terms piled on top of each other. At about the third one, I kind of go.
I love your awareness.
By the way, what do you think of my new hobby, which is taking benign statements you've made and making them scary? And
I thought that was hilarious, man. I love what you're doing. Honestly, I do. Hey, and I love your awareness of that. I started paying attention to myself with that. Where am I not understanding?
What do you mean?
We each have our blindness. and it's a cognitive blindness in our mind.
Oh, hi, Sarah. You're talking about the blinds, are you? No. I've heard her. I mean, I know that I've heard her speak to you about the blind spots and the cognitive functions of. I don't know if you're referring to that system or not. You're using
Possibly. It could be the same thing.
Could be influencing.
It could be
the thought. But anyways, go on. I didn't mean to.
No, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
The point is what I recognized is that in our egoic presence, in our layers between knowing it all with the soul and the little bit that we know, there's layers of ignorance that we have. So I watch for where am I ignorant? What am I getting confused? Where am I not paying attention? I have theories about a lot of this, but you already recognize here. It could be the topic, it could be the moment, it could have been any number of things. What I was trying to describe, though, was
do you think? Did you see Tribes here?
Is Tribe here?
Oh, do you think he knows that you didn't change the thumbnail?
He might now.
I don't think he heard me. He has me blocked. I can only see him because of StreamYard, so he can't hear me. Do you think he knows that I made a sticker, or I mean a custom emoji for my members on my channel out of his face?
I don't know if he knows that.
All right, good thing he can't hear me because he blocked me.
It looks like we are blessed to have apparently Tribe and Lou Bass.
Lou is so hot and cold, isn't he?
Fascinating. Just absolutely.
He's a crazy maker. That's what he is.
I've got a couple of people here in the back, and a heads up as well.
Is one snafu?
No. Well, I don't know. Chingate optics or something.
Yes, that's snafu.
Oh, and then it's Mr. Jackie Chan's kid or something. He's a Jackie Chan fan.
Hi, I'm Vincent.
You're who?
Vincent.
Vincent.
Oh, okay. Hey man, do you want to can you put the full movie of Bodyguard: A New Beginning on premium?
Nope.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
This is a boring troll. You're a fucking boring troll, dude. You can't do better.
Yep. Put it on the full movie, please. Put it on the premium, please.
Why?
Because it's on YouTube. The full movie.
Hey, Chingate Optics?
Yes.
Not you, Vincent.
Hey, have you guys ever seen Cruel Intentions?
Yes. Have you seen the film Bodyguard: A New Beginning?
All right. Thank you for clicking the link. It's an open-ish panel. Enjoy the rest of your day.
That was the worst troll. And wanting you to play a movie.
And we've got, well, he's an interesting character. He seems to enjoy getting attention on
don't we all?
Yeah. Here, there was something else I was gonna bring up.
Brown's boy makes a good point.
Telescope.
Is that the noise? The sound of a telescope? That's hilarious.
What's up?
Are you in the tub?
Yeah. Just chilling out. I don't have the camera.
Well,
All right. Okay. How are you?
So, can you prove to me the existence of a soul without faith?
Huh. What would be the benefit of doing so?
Is the soul something physical?
have you heard of the 21 gram experiment?
Yes, I've heard about the 21 gram experiment. I know it's a fallacy, but yeah.
Which fallacy is it?
There's lots of issues wrong with that study. Because you also have like biological means of like shitting out of oneself and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, but what is your point?
Prove to me soul without faith.
For what purpose?
You want to say a soul, and you want to equate it with the ego and the super, like utilize Freudian metaphysics with the id, ego, and superego. So
I mean, what can we define a soul? Is that consciousness? Wouldn't your consciousness be proof in and of itself?
What do you think consciousness is?
Well, it doesn't matter. What do you think? I mean, you're the one who found a problem.
That's rhetorical. That's a rhetorical question.
You're the one who found the problems with the words I chose. So what is it that prevents you from accepting? What is it you want to understand about the
Why
word?
do you believe a soul? Why do you believe a soul exists?
Why do you think it matters? I could describe it without the word soul.
Wait it. So why do you think a soul exists?
You want me to re-explain the same thing differently? Because truth can be
slightly more interesting, troll, I think.
Well, how is it true?
Slightly.
So it can prove to me the existence of a soul without faith.
Hey, Telescope, prove that you exist without faith.
I mean, I experience consciousness subjectively.
You only believe.
I'm experiencing some sort of reality.
Well,
I mean,
that's anecdotal. That's anecdotal. We can't do anything with anecdotal.
It's actually not anecdotal. Because what happens is you can come to the positions of, because I'm experiencing that. This is why we have
Hey, Mr. Snowball.
Actually, no. Snap.
The subject.
No. Telescope.
Hey,
Telescope.
At the same time.
Telescope. Mute yourself. Yield yourself, please. I'm going to take back control, okay? I enjoy you coming in and you want to present your opposition and your interruption, your deflection. I'm not sure your purpose of clicking the link today.
What do you think it is, Jack?
To be a troll.
Probably.
So if that's the purpose you've chosen for yourself for this day, that has been created for us to share and experience together.
Jack, just drop him. Don't let it get you all angry, caught.
I'm not angry, actually.
You're frustrated. You're kind of going into like.
You know what, Flo? God bless you. Thank you. So, what do you think about? What do you think about Snafu? I've received some. Yesterday, I joined a nice panel that writes faux vets. FO number 4 vets. I received some feedback that, to help this panel, help this stream improve, maybe I should really start limiting things like I'm pointing at Snafu in the background.
Yeah. Ever since I made a couple of videos calling out Snafu's lies about me, saying that nobody wanted to compete with him about who can get more numbers, when obviously I've said multiple times that I will take up his challenge. But turns out a lot of people started surfacing who have had bad experiences with Snafu. So his hostility, his relentless gang stalking isn't limited to Marfugal and Monograph.
I know. he's got he's another human with patterns of behavior that he's been in denial about. He's back here.
I've never heard him deny it.
Hey, you know what? I would like to say something real quick. You know your guest Denise that came on your channel, right? And I was questioning her. Do you know she left me a very long message about how she actually came because of pedograph optics and how Monograph actually attacked them. So what's funny is you Nazi'd me out when Denise and I were actually on the same page. And you know, Flo, it's funny because you lied on Jackie Fox to your audience and you still haven't presented her response to you.
Snap,
Telling
you're
everyone,
lying
hey,
right
Flo's
now.
a
I went
bitch-ass
back and
liar.
watched. She didn't
So what's funny,
address
Jack,
it.
is
She
you
didn't
should
get on
read what
stage.
Denise wrote to me because it is pedograph optics, and she actually said, "I'm sorry, Jack, you know, because Jack didn't give us time to talk."
He just
And she said,
says
"The only
things
reason
with
I'm here is
no
because
concern at all
Monograph
for
has
what's
fucked
true
with
or
a lot
not.
of people, has threatened a lot of
Amazing.
people, and he's in."
You should turn his audio down at least.
I turned it down a bit,
Yeah.
but
It's amazing how he just will say a bold-faced lie like right there, and I'll say back like, "She never said shit. I went and watched what you said. She never went on panel," and he's just gonna go right through it. So
what we're witnessing is someone. He's got a lot of things going on within him. He wants to be understood, but he doesn't allow an opportunity to be understood because he doesn't care about others.
I don't even want to begin to try to untangle that dude's internal emotional state. That's beyond my pay grade.
I'm not even sure what his point was. Well, here, you know what? Welcome back, Denise. I don't know what Snafu was saying, but
hold on a second. I have to shut something off.
But he doesn't allow an opportunity. Here we go. Holy cows, man. Holy cows.
Time for a praise God. Praise God.
You know what it is? Praise God, man. You all set? Here. How about now?
Okay.
Welcome back.
Is it okay now?
It's beautiful.
I decided I wasn't going to engage with your panel because number one, I missed the beginning, and I know that you like to have a flow of understanding. And number two, I just felt like after that encounter with that character yesterday, he's lying about what I wrote under his thing. I'm going to go delete it and block him and forget him. You know, he's lying about what I wrote.
Denise,
I don't know what he's trying to say, but screw it.
Well, here, Denise, I don't know if you heard what Flo was describing, but
a little bit. I just came on like 2 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden my name screamed. So I felt like I brought you some bad luck.
No,
he was here already.
He was part of this already. So you're welcome. You're welcome to join. Today the topic is simply being present and having presence in the present. I haven't really gone into that much, but what Flo
can I just address what he said like very briefly and then forget it ever happened? But I want to address it because of the troll pattern that you already noticed goes on around me. I have this. I'm like that guy in the movie that had the rain cloud over his head. I think Jerry Lewis, that's an old movie. Well, that's my trolls in that rain cloud. They follow me around.
Yeah, so him too.
Yeah, the thing is, I misunderstood. And then as I started to watch more and realize, boy, I got double played. Number one, of course, he was offensive when he started making certain remarks and you booted him out. But then when I went over, I thought, well, now I understand all his anger because he expresses some righteous anger. And I know nothing about you, Mr. Flo. I heard him saying nasty things about you, but I don't even know what it is. But he had this thing about this character Monograph. I then left a message for him. It's like, look, I don't know why you attacked me. You don't know who I am. But I've been dealing with Monograph. My family has been dealing with that SOB for years. Now, you guys might be friends of his. I have other people in my circle who are friends of his. I don't care because if you're a friend of his, you don't know what's going on with what he does to other people. I'm going to take it that way. If you do know what's going on, then we won't be friends long, but I'll let you take care of it. I'm not gonna, But anyway, okay. I mean, there is an issue. That's why these trolls follow me around. There is a game that Monograph plays. He has a lot of people fooled. I am actually involved with things offline dealing with him. So, okay, I'm done. Let me, let me just take a sip of coffee.
Sorry,
and-
I got distracted by the chat. Were you talking about Monograph or about Snafu?
Snafu came in here. I never saw him before. He came in here yesterday when we were talking about Jack's stuff on dreams and mindfulness and stuff. And just I gotta look away from the thing because this guy's up here.
Why would you? I don't know, Jack. Why do you keep giving everybody who sucks a new chance every day to derail things?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about. Are you part of the game or are you naive, Jack?
A little bit of both. He's probably a little bit of both.
About see, okay.
It's a very subtle and complex game, and it's not a game because offline it leads to real consequences.
Yep, I know, Denise. Well, here's what's wonderful. We can recognize, actually, this is what I hope to talk about, is the game of life. Life is a game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I sense that in you. I sense that authenticity in you.
Thank you. There are real life consequences. Vincent, you in the back, I've seen you before. You're done. Yeah. So
I can address something else about this. That visual thing, I don't know anything about that guy, but that's something that other people do as well. And I am in communication with somebody dealing with this on the legal end. And I forget the name that was given to me for what that tactic is, but it's a visual, it's a method of trolling without trolling. You do a visual thing so that people watching the panel are irritated, but they don't connect the irritation to anything. And then when they encounter the individuals who are on the panel, especially the guests in other places, they identify those individuals with this unfocused irritation. See, it's a very subtle conditioning thing. And
I could see that.
it just basically you just have to learn to ignore it.
It's what?
Interesting. I think that's interesting.
Yes.
It's a form, it's a very, because these people, Monograph's whole shtick is working off a book.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Don't mention it. Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry.
let's not be specific in names unless specific.
Well, he's not alone. I shouldn't have named it because it's a book many are using. It's a book that other people are using as well.
Okay, but here's the thing.
What's it called? They've already got it.
Do you know the name of the book?
No, I mean, I'm not going to, if I knew the title, I wouldn't tell you. I just know it's out there. Because
okay, well, consider this. If you're talking about a methodology or a mindset, a pattern, okay. Well, those really can't be linked to specific people. There's patterns of thoughts, there's ways of thinking that are eternal, and just different people pick up on them. What we have been witnessing and experiencing is a lot of patterns of egoic conditioning from the world. And I don't know the details of this drama. I really am no part of.
Well, they're really irrelevant because if it wasn't going on with me, it would be with someone else.
Well,
I'm just their target of convenience at the moment.
Congratulations. So we all get, hey, you know what? These lives,
that just encourages it.
Yes.
I know. That's what I mean. I'm allowing them to feed off my anger. And
all right. Well, as long as you know
I do have to shrug it off.
Yeah, no, as long as you know it, a lot of people give into it and like get all spazzy and angry about it, and then also in the same breath will say that they're standing up for themselves and fighting back. It's like, no, you're not. You're completely ineffective. All you're doing is spinning your wheels and giving them what they want. So
right. And it's a process. You can't just decide you're not going to do that anymore. You have to number one, recognize, okay, this guy's right. I'm spinning my wheels. And then depending on how deep in you got, it takes a while to dig yourself out of the mud that you spun yourself into. And I'm probably about 3/4 of the way out. And so I get angry, but I quickly say, okay, I understand what's going on here, but I'm still angry. And when I'm completely out, I won't even get angry. And at some levels, I don't get angry anymore. But shall I be?
Well, here's where I want to offer that, you know, the way the perfection of the world works, I think I can help. I mean, this has been my path, learning how to deal with triggers, learning how to deal with attacks, learning how to deal with, holy shit, where'd that come from? You know, so I'm here to help you, Denise, if you'd like. And
Oh yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen, but I'm gonna put the camera off so I can put the phone down because I'm working. Let me show you. I'm working on this here, right here.
beautiful.
And I'm gonna continue working while I listen.
Blessings. Thanks, Denise. Well, the best way here, when we're dealing with attacks, in between the attacks, there will be moments where the attack is not present. And there's Snafu in the back clamoring to come in and attack. Snafu, no. I'm not going to bring you up for you to just bring your agent of chaos just to argue and slander and accuse. It's not going to happen. And El Perro, you know, kind of the same thing. You've been here and silent, but a distraction perhaps, not really bringing much. So
He's the same thing as Snafu, just better at it, more subtle.
it is. Isn't this amazing? How unique and yet the same people can be.
Yes.
It's the ego, man. The ego is nuts.
No, it's not. It's fucking trauma and anger.
That's what creates the ego.
No,
That's
it's not.
what I'm talking
No,
about.
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. The ego is an essential part of a healthy psyche.
Here, I took the
What-
definition of ego the other day as the mental activity of identifying with form.
What do you mean identifying with form? What's that mean?
Form.
Your
Identify-
body
Yes.
or yourself?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
We are a self. We should identify with ourselves. If you don't identify with yourself, then you have an issue as well.
You can identify with the greater self, the self that is greater than the body. Maybe we're.
If you identify too much with that and have no ego, you have just every bit as much of a problem. An integrated ego is part of a healthy psyche.
Yes. I don't deny that.
Okay. What they're dealing with is some sort of unresolved trauma that's not part of a healthy psyche.
Yeah. Okay. So the way I connect those is that you're right. They've not integrated the ego into the present. They've got unresolved trauma that.
It's really not the ego at all, but we can move. It looks like Denise is trying to say something.
Oh, please.
No,
Go ahead.
Unresolved trauma thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what Jack is saying reflects, and that your phrase just came right out because years ago I had reason to be in. I hate to put stuff out there that I know I'm giving the trolls ammo, but I don't care. I was in counseling with a therapist over trauma, and it was all about what you're saying. So I mean that's why I understand that Jack's authentic in spite of the fact that all this troll stuff is happening on screen and he lets people up and off and whatever, because I understand what someone who knows what he's doing looks like. And I'm sorry, I'm just still too upset to have a clear train of thought, but I just
No, it
wanted
makes
to say
sense
you're
to
right
me.
on point. You're right.
Yeah,
You're both right on. But
it makes sense.
the
And we're
trauma
all.
would be something that's in the shadow, but
Mhm.
it's unresolved. What they do, okay, this is the train of thought I started to lose. What these trolls are doing, they're because they find people through websites like Parents of Murdered Children is one of the websites. They look for people who have been traumatized. They look for stories in the news and they find those families and they come after them because they want to manipulate the unresolved trauma that they know at least some of the members of the family are going to still have. And then when they can get their hooks in, their first approach to me was related to fundraising. And then because they understood something had happened in my family, they thought I was suing somebody and I wasn't, but they wanted to help me. And when I said, get out of here, you know, you don't know, I don't know who you are, go away. Next thing I know, this whole crew was involved. And now I'm involved with law enforcement because we finally put the pattern together for over the past 6 years of exactly who's involved in the extortion level, because that's what it is. It's an extortion ring. And it's using these tactics that you guys are talking about. But the reason for the tactics is that it is an actual extortion ring. And there have been some busts already. They're not going to say in the news it's the same ring, but there was just a big bust in Boston. I'm from Massachusetts, and most of the stuff I'm talking about is up there. That's why I live in Texas.
Interesting.
But anyway, I just wanted to say there's two things. There's the patterns that you guys are talking about that are very important because those patterns exist no matter what's happening. People do those things. But in this particular group that we're dealing with, that I'm dealing with, is a specific extortion ring.
Are they some
But
of the same?
that's really not what your channel's about. It's just, you know, your channel's helping the people who got damaged, and then this extortion ring is secondary. They come along looking for damaged goods because they know how they can profit off them. One of the ways is they get you hooked into, they're going to investigate your issue in your family, and they did get $3,000 from one of my brothers at one point. That's why the law is involved.
Hey, Denise, I'm
mad.
I can tell, and that's kind of, thank you. I want to interrupt your flow there because there's no reason to get mad, not right now. And
no, there isn't, and it's a flooding flow. It's a trauma. I'm perseverating, and I need to stop.
you get to release yourself from it. You get to, there you go, have some tea or the coffee, relax, enjoy, right? And
yeah,
and not to minimize, I certainly don't want to minimize what you're dealing with, but I'd like to remind, you know, this human existence, it's better for some and it's worse for others. And there's others who are, well, this idea of conspiring and extorting, that is, in the spiritual sense, that's a satanic rule. That's the way the opposition wants. Snafu, he's in there.
I just blocked him in the chat. He's gonna go right at her.
I'm not even looking at the chat. I don't even see it. I don't care.
Well, no, I'm curious. Have you dealt with Snafu before?
No, but he's part of a crew that I've dealt with. That's why I say
Snafu crew.
Yeah, I went kind of back and forth on whether he was just releasing his own emotional stuff, because he has something in his channel that had me confused, but now I see that basically he's laid out a lot of bait.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to bring him up, I would maybe consider bring her backstage first.
I'm out of here.
Well, Denise, tell you what, I'll throw you in the back. I'm curious to have some resolve, if that's possible. Snafu, I'm going to bring you up, but be aware Okay, take a breath, relax. I don't want you to come in here, 1,000 miles an hour, please.
Thank you, Jack. No, I wanted to just let you know this chick, I won't even
Calmly,
say bitch, is
calmly,
lying to your face right
calmly.
now. I have the comment pulled up. You guys could go to my channel.
Okay,
Go
is
look at
there
my channel. It's the
relevance?
5G Optics. It was after our interaction on your channel. She left me a whole book about how she has issues with Monograph and how he's this bad guy. So everything she just said, when she's like, "Oh, I didn't say shit," we have the comment, you dumb fucking
So
granny hoe. She
stop.
lied to your
Okay,
face, Jack.
well,
Bold-faced
what
lies.
specific?
You do that all the time, Snafu.
Yes,
Slow, shut up. You're lying on
you
Jackie
do.
Fox. You're
No,
irrelevant,
you're
dude.
lying
You
on
can't even come
Jackie.
to
You're
terms with your
making that
lies.
whole thing
I'm
up.
just telling Jack Talcott, this woman left a
Yeah, I
Snafu.
know.
she
You're trying to
interacted
talk
with
shit,
me.
make
She
shit up.
left a
You
comment
always
on
do.
my page
Blah blah blah
about
blah blah
how
blah 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 blah
involved
blah
she
blah
is with
blah.
this pedograph guy. And then
When's
she's
Have a
gonna
nice
tell
when's
afternoon.
that autoimmune disease gonna get him for good?
No, I pray his mind finds peace. I pray his heart finds understanding. Um,
In an urn.
I
Yeah.
I joke.
I didn't deny the comment, but he said I said things about flow state, and I don't even know what flow state is. I didn't even say nothing about flow state because I just see you for the first time in my life right now.
No, I think he was just telling me to shut up because he wanted to talk about you to Jack, and
yeah,
I was talking as
Yeah, but
well.
I mean, he's saying that I like denied I made the comment or whatever. That's, no, and he's going to go showing it off to everyone. I don't
He
care.
just
I mean, I've been
he's
through this so many times.
he's got such a consistent track record of just talking and just bullshit.
Yeah, well, one of the problems all of these people have, and it's universal at this point. They see somebody like me, retired, doing my thing, whatever. They say, "Oh, still the old lady." It doesn't occur to them that the way you get to be 70 is you have a life behind you. Okay, you've been somewhere. And they think I don't know what they're doing. Seriously? They think I didn't have, that's what, and I see this happen to other people too. I have a friend who can't talk about anything because they'll call him a liar because he's known people that they don't think anyone could know because I don't know, they just think everyone is who they are.
hey,
Like I was born 70, that's what
hey,
they think.
hey, Denise,
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you. Okay. And you know what? Congratulations. I was thinking about that. 70 years. That's a lot of experience. That's a lot of different moments, a lot of different things. The world has changed. And you know what though? I really do feel like we're just beginning.
Yeah. We
I
are.
do. I feel I keep hearing it elsewhere, and maybe it's the things I search for, but the things I've searched for have brought me a lot of others talking about these things. This is a time here on earth for all of us. The energies are changing. We are changing. And with the changes of everything, it is time I think it's time for a new beginning for the world. Time for a restart, not a reset, but a restart.
Yeah.
That's what my hopes and my dreams are. But what I realized is those don't matter if I don't pay attention to today. Because if I'm not paying attention to today, today is where here's something I was reminded of. Our free will, it only exists right now, in the present. And if we're not paying attention in the present, our free will be given away to our memories or just out of reactions or just because someone said to do so. What I've been figuring out though, hey, we were talking about the ego. right? The ego is part of us, but it needs to be a healthy part of us. And the best way for the ego to be a healthy part is for it to become a servant rather than the master. These are words I'm saying to myself as well because, well, I'm still not as pure or as healthy as I know I could be. I think we can all
No,
do better. What's that, Denise?
I said nobody is. I mean, you, you know, it's. I had an art teacher when I was a kid who said that if you stop being unsatisfied with your work, then you're done. You know, you don't. It's as long as you're still going, you're always going to be feeling like you're not there yet because you're still going. And when you're done, you're done.
I love that advice. Say that again, please. If you ever find yourself not unsatisfied or something.
Yeah, my art teacher, Erwin Rosenhaus, he said, because I was feeling, I was just a kid anyway, and trying to fulfill the assignments.
Mhm.
And I didn't think what I did was very good. And he says, well, he said, the minute you look at your own work and think that what you've done is very good, then you're done. There's nothing more for you to learn. He said, you're always going to be dissatisfied because you're always going to be one step further in your mind. You're always one step behind where you want to be. And it's kind of like the minute you decide you're satisfied, your work is going to start to deteriorate.
That it does. It does. This is what it sounds so obvious, and to receive that tip when you were young, that's great. I mean, those diamonds of wisdom, those are the things we need to be teaching our children, not
Yeah, I
this
mean, my sister used to
memorization
get art
and
lessons. She used to look for the artists that were around. I was about 10, 11, 12 years old. And I would babysit for her. And then she would get part of my pay was that she would find an artist and apprentice me for the summer lessons. And he was one of the ones that I learned from. I learned the most from him because he was teaching us from the old classic art that goes back to the Renaissance I mean, we even learned how to make gesso with marble dust and rabbit skin glue.
um I didn't catch that last part, but that sounds pretty cool. Where what I heard was someone investing in the youth, capturing the talent, inspiring the artist within you. And
Well, actually, she's a terrible person, but she needed a babysitter, and she knew she could bribe me with art lessons, so she did.
it works.
Yeah, it helps. It's you know.
Life works in very mysterious ways. What I've been learning over the past few years, though, is how much of it is our responsibility. Our life is what we create, what we accept. When we decide this is good enough, that becomes our comfort zone. And then the comfort zone, it'll start deteriorating a little bit at a time. And next thing you know, you're trying to drink yourself to death every day. I've been there, done that, refused to do it again. The key to all of this, what I've been learning seriously, we're here to be in the present. And in the present, if we can find gratitude and love for the moment, for all of the expression of the experience that we are living, if we can stay in that state, it feels divine. And it feels good to spend time with the divine in a state of bliss. I feel bliss right now. I hope it's being shared in some ways or fashion.
It is. You have a very calming voice.
Thank you. It depends on who you ask, and perhaps at the moment. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. What was the other idea I had today? I spend a lot of time in my mind allowing just thoughts to be discovered. And I think about consciousness an awful lot. The connection between our awareness, our memory and imagination, and then the awareness of our senses, the senses of experience. That was my thought. What is an experience? An experience is a perception. It's a perception of, it's a subjective, holy cows. Yes, it's a subjective perception which brings forth a knowing. Because once you have an experience, you know it's happened. And then it's from the knowing we try and find the words. I call all of this craziness, this is God's creation, man. We are mind, the minds that create. There was a mind that created space and time. Space and time brought forth us. We have allegedly, we have the highest consciousness of the other animals on this rock. That's beautiful, Denise.
I'm trying to set up the camera so that I can work and listen without you looking at my ugly walls.
Well, it's beautiful. What is the skill? What's the craft that you're doing?
Hooking a rug.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm pulling the yarn up through, and it makes a carpet kind of, finish.
Very cool.
It's part of the set for my bathroom that I'm doing. I'm doing all sunflowers.
That is beautiful, my friend.
But, by the way, I just noticed when I went to change the camera setting that I because I just recently upgraded my StreamYard, I have a click that I can actually send this stream to my channel. Is it okay with you if I do that?
Certainly. Feel free.
Oh, good. I want to try that out and see what happens.
Certainly.
Stream this to the audience.
Today, yeah, go ahead. Today, I'm just kind of, I'm feeling very chill, very present. And like I said, I was inspired. I got a little exercise. I had some incredible stretch, massage. My body feels amazing. My conscience is clear. My heart is filled with hope and excitement for the future. And then we're here. So I dropped the link again. If anyone else does want to join, all are kind of welcome. Well, golly geez, not all. Snafu has returned. You muted, Flo. What do you think?
Oh, I just said who gives a fuck?
What are your thoughts?
On what? I don't have a lot of thoughts. I texted you some thoughts a minute ago.
Did you?
But also, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, I don't have a lot of. I don't even know what y'all were talking about. I have no thoughts on needle. I know there's needlepoint there. I have no thoughts on that.
Respect. Hey, no, I
I'm
appreciate it.
mostly I've mostly just been taking out these goons in the chat.
Understand. Thank you.
Papa, where's that Papa dude?
Well, how about Denise?
Uncle Fatty? Good to
Yeah.
see you.
How about you? Any thoughts or topics feel inspired to discuss?
I'm just trying to figure out what I just did to myself with the settings. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We hear you.
I'm just sort of, I don't know, I'm just sort of sitting here and listening and, letting the momentary pissed offness just disappear, flush it away. And that's it. I mean, that's all we can do, right? Is let it flow and flush it away. No offense to your name, Flow State.
What did you say? I wasn't paying attention.
I said all we could do is let it flow and flush it away, and then I said no offense to your name.
None taken. I don't even know what we're flushing away.
I think well, it was in reference to the anger, the discontent.
Yes.
Feelings from the
a few minutes ago. It's already gone, so you don't even remember it, so that's good.
Well, and so that is our key. That's our goal. The quicker we can learn to get over things, the sooner we can move on with our lives. And the best way to get past things is to just accept, come into the present. I mean, even the beginning of the stream, that was the past. Me, I'm naive enough to think others can change that quickly too. But
that's correct.
I know. The topic today is being present. How about this? I mean, I know we can help. I know if Snafu was willing to have a conversation.
Stop.
We could
That's
help.
Never going to happen.
We could help him if he believed it would be helpful. I bet he would.
So there's two issues here. One, he doesn't want that. Two, I mean, we can't do shit without him wanting to. Three, we don't even know what his issues are.
I don't think we need to. My only issue with him is his behavior. And if we can get him to see his behavior and see how it's not helpful.
You don't think he can see his own behavior?
I don't. He makes excuses for it.
Well, to us, because we're trying to hold him accountable to our standard. He's probably being very effective at what he wants to do, which I would guess is derail the conversation.
Yeah, see, he's not just accidentally doing this. I'm sorry. Am I? Okay. No, I don't think is what he's doing. At first, I did think that maybe he just had like this floating anger, because I thought from one of his videos that he was experiencing some anger for good reason. And then it turned out that he's he's playing people and he's playing this game. And so getting him to change, the first thing is really just get him to quit the game. And then maybe he'll want to change his behavior. But if he enjoys the game he's playing, he's getting what he wants. And engaging you in trying to help him change himself, basically he's getting his hooks into you, Jack, by doing that.
I disagree. I disagree about anyone having any hooks in me, because I am a free and sovereign man and I make choices each moment. My purpose each day, though, is how do I serve? I mean, honestly, this was my thoughts earlier. I'm living this life, the same body, the same house, the same car, the same town. Everything's the same that I used to resent. I wanted to die in this house, in this body, in the car, in this community. And yet today I don't. And so I'm filled with gratitude. And I got all day, every day, all by myself. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I share this? That's why I started the stream a few minutes early. Because I want to try and share some peace and joy in the present, in this day, in every day. So to bring it back to the present, for whatever reason, people like Snafu and Paul and Wizard and all these other characters have found their way into my experience. And I don't think they're criminal-minded or malintended. I think they're just confused.
Why?
Why are they confused?
No, why do you think that?
Because I trust. I have faith in God, honestly. I really do. I have the faith
There's
that
no reason to think that, though. Evidence would lead you to the other conclusion.
they are malintended, that they mean harm.
They obviously do.
Since I've actually experienced no true harm, it's just been irritations and aggravations and a lot of nonsense threats. I mean, here's one of the biggest problems
It's a
of our
threat.
world.
It's about intent, right? A threat is obviously malicious intent.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yes, there's no way around that.
Well, unless it's coming from a state of confusion. Because people say shit they don't mean when they're afraid and when they're angry.
There's not confusion.
Yeah.
It's consistent. It's persistent, consistent. It's the same thing all the time.
I know. They've normalized confusion.
You're the only one that's confused about this.
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm really not. You're
confused as fuck about it, and you're doing it to yourself on purpose.
I'm really not. What? I see it, Chuck. I don't know what. I'm stopping the show, Chuck, for you. Okay, so want to
Oh, I see what I'm not looking at the chat, but he's referring to somebody who really is on a mission, and I'm not going to address her, and she wants people to go look at some of the videos that attack me. And the reason I haven't asked YouTube to take them down is they are being tracked by LEOs. They really are. Some of those videos, not Destroyer. I don't know who Destroyer is, but there's a channel that has some videos about my family that are part of this harassment stuff. And she's one of the people that's on the bandwagon to spread them around. I don't care, because you know, they can't take any more from me than what's been taken. And the stuff that's out there is allowing people. I mean, for the past few years, I've actually been working with a couple of people in law enforcement that are using this to educate their own staff on it. That's really what's going on. That's part of what's going on with me. And that's one of the reasons why some of them are stupid enough to keep attacking, because they don't get it. They just don't understand that this is more than just a personal growth process for each of us as human beings. Law enforcement has to learn how to deal with online gang activity, and this is allowing them to learn how to deal with it.
Well, I'd love to speak with any of them involved, because
You go right ahead. I'm not here.
well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to get involved in whatever it is, but I am getting a lot of feedback, and you've got a reputation, apparently. I didn't go through your videos, but I saw videos with other people's names,
Yeah,
Um,
I've earned the reputation, and like I say, there some people don't understand what I'm doing, but some people do. And what I'm doing has to do with some stuff that's not even in YouTube, because see,
right.
people don't only exist in YouTube; they also exist in real life,
Yes,
and
ma'am. I do
that's
know.
where they involve some people.
All right. Tell you what, Denise, you have been respectful, and you shared some of your stories, some of your dreams. Even I appreciate what you've brought. Um, thank you for joining.
Hmm.
These lives are okay. You know, there's a comment about past involvement. I don't know these other names, but here's what I do know. Brothers and sisters, whoever's in here and may know of something, we're living in a very unique time in this world. Okay, all of us are going through our own growth in what we are learning, what we are conscious of, what we're aware of. And tell you what, we all need to start to consider for ourselves how much we don't know. Because I see so many people going all day, every day, wanting to talk about what they think they know rather than discovering what can be learned new in the new moments. This world we're living in is a world of confusion. It is my hope and purpose, like I said, we're gonna expose the darkness, expose the lies, expose the oppression, because
You got to identify the darkness before you can expose it, Jack.
the darkness is hidden in clear sight. It's
It's not hidden at all. It's
exactly. This is what I mean. It's time for us to realize the emperor has no clothes. Who's the emperor? Everyone's I won't say everyone, because especially in this realm where we're talking, I know Flo kind of leads himself. I lead myself, but many people have an emperor in their lives. And whether it's a boss or a whether it's a boss, a mortgage holder, a government official, everyone's got these authorities that they serve. We're here to serve. What if we were here to serve the future? What if that was our purpose?
It
What
is.
is the future?
what if these are all just kind of imprecise, broad, conceptual words and we're not here to serve really anything except for what we choose to serve?
Yes. But no, but you're absolutely right. In the past, selfishness has been promoted. Selfishness has been rewarded. Selfishness has been conditioned. And I'm telling you, the best way I have found to live, is empty.
What does that mean?
I'm not always successful, but when I can be present in the moment, be complete of the past, I need nothing more, nothing less, become perfect in the moment. We can all do this. Receive our perfection, our level of perfection in the moment, and we stay perfect until we move, until we choose not to be perfect and we choose to consume things that are not healthy, consuming unhealthy thoughts. When we can stay absent of the desires and absent of the worries, we are empty. And yet, when we're empty, we become whole, we become full, we become complete. Does that make sense?
in a really overthought sort of way, yeah.
Thank you.
Right. I mean, I
Thank
get
you.
what you're saying. I just don't I don't get why you're taking this route to I don't know, I feel like you could just bypass it and just live life and like not try to do all these head things that so you view it from this angle and that angle, and if you look at it this way and then you think that way, you just if you just do life, I think that the perspective will find itself.
Yes. For those who are able to learn you're right. We're all on our path and the perspective will reveal itself. But the reason I'm describing these things is I remember the misery I lived with, man. I was not welcome, Joe. I was not as agitated and aggressive as like Snap and Tommy and Paul and some of these others, but I know the arrogance is a sign of insecurity, and I know the insecurities that I used to live with, and I know what a hell it was compared to the freedom of this, man. I feel good. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, Jack?
Please.
Do you have any hobbies? I mean, physical with your hands hobbies.
Masturbating.
Besides, you beat me to it. Fuck
Oh,
you.
I knew somebody was going to do that.
I couldn't help it.
Somebody.
I started slam dunking that alley oop before I even knew what I was doing. It was just instinct.
I gave that practice up. That's no longer my hobby.
Slap your face.
Massage. I spend hours.
Well, you know what McLuhan said about that. That's what's going on in YouTube.
Who?
Massages or masturbation? What are we talking about?
No,
All
that's
the above. Take it where you want.
I'm sorry. I was asking Jack about his hobby, and for some reason, that's what the subject turned into. I don't think Jack did that, but
I
do you have any other hobbies, Jack?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
One of the hobbies, I don't know if it's a hobby or a habit, but I spend hours a day massaging my back, massaging my legs.
But you don't have any hobbies in which, like, you make something
where I create.
Very good.
That is a beautiful question. That's a question for an artist. I love that.
Well,
no.
It's also the reason I ask is what Flo was saying, that you spend too much time thinking, and actually the reason I'm doing this kind of boring work, really, when you consider the hours spent just pulling yarn through the fabric, it is extremely good for calming the mind and allowing the thoughts to organize themselves into the thoughts that matter. Because
I would assume
if you're only thinking, then it's like, and I mean, massaging yourself is still kind of going into the same circles as thinking.
It sounds similar.
But
I thought massaging yourself would soothe you and have you calm, like you do when you're doing your knitting or whatever it is. Seems like if you're massaging, you relax.
Making something also has this thing of production that
makes you very good. It'll make your mind work.
I started doing it in relation to depression because, and my doctor had very good advice. He says, look, just recognize the fact that you're going through this. You're going to feel this way, because he was against over medicating people, and that's why I liked him as a doctor. And doing things, the attitude was, well, I'm going to be depressed all day, but at least I found craft that I could do without much effort, so that I could do it even if I was depressed. And then at a certain point, the depression lifts, and at least there's something to show for the hours, okay, instead of just sitting there immobilized.
So interesting, right? So
interesting. And and then after a while, you deal with because my doctor to believe that the depression was due to circumstances that I had to learn to deal with, and not just you don't just change the chemistry of the brain and call it done. And so while going through the process of dealing with the source of the depression, which did include myself, because I had to change diet and stuff and foods and things. And it takes time. And during that period of time, by having a hobby to work with your hands, and I moved to needlework from painting, because painting is really, for me, a mental activity, because I go so fast that, it's not really engaging my hands as much as
All right. Now
the
you got me
yarn.
interested. You got me interested. Speed painting, that's a thing. Are you like do modern?
No. I paint fast.
That's not really a thing. Then you paint bad,
just
Denise.
regular.
No,
No, I don't paint on.
don't jump to the assumption.
I'm having fun. Denise, go get it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound bossy, but show us a paint.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
Could you show us a paint?
Don't have anything to show.
I said if you paint fast, you paint bad, is what I said, what made them laugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you get that?
yeah, but I meant, for me, the activity isn't engaging my, I don't know how to explain it, but
a certain part of your brain.
It's still
guess.
Okay. The activity has to be unconscious. Like, you can do it unconsciously. Like this work that I'm doing with the yarn. It's just one motion over and over and over. So there's no thinking.
I understand.
So painting, I'm still engaged with the design, and I'm still thinking. So it's still engaging the mind. So I
totally
have to find a craft that's repetition, because it's there's something going on between the muscles and the hormones, because our emotions are physical. They're hormonal. That's why your voice changes and your body language changes when you're angry or depressed or whatever, because your body is expressing it. So by engaging the body in some productive work, whether it be needlework or a lot of guys get into woodworking and stuff like that, it's just, if you're doing something that you can kind of go into muscle memory and let your body handle it while your mind continues to wander, that's how it becomes meditation.
So that's what.
But if you're painting, like when I'm painting with an idea, I can't meditate because I'm thinking about what I'm painting. But here, I'm not thinking about this needlework. I'm listening to you guys and just poodling along.
And what you're describing, getting lost in the task and having the task get done.
It's like mowing the yard. You always have all your most brilliant thoughts when you're mowing the yard.
Yep.
I paint and do drywall. Those I put on some really shitty music that I don't have to listen to the lyrics, pop music or something, and I can go off into my head and paint and drywall unconsciously.
This for me too. Cleaning dishes, especially with the running water, the sound of the feeling, everything, it distracts the mind, and it distracts the awareness and allows the mind or the consciousness.
It's a pseudo flow state, really.
Yes,
the activity, because it's difficult enough that you're engrossed in it, but it's simple enough that it doesn't require active attention.
Yes, and honestly, this is how we're supposed to be living most of the time, right? Yes, most of the time, it's supposed to be in a flow state, just doing without doing.
All right. What if the bad guy's job is to prevent you from getting there? And he's creative, right? If his job is to get you from getting to that place, then everything else would seem like a distraction, and you'd have to nick some shit, or I don't know, you have to change some shit. At least be aware. Yeah, we've been here the whole time, Denise.
I think you're back.
Oh, I just went offline for a minute. I don't know.
Yeah, Denise, I'm passing up a lot of good jokes here.
Going on with the.
No,
I see you, Joe. I see those.
Okay.
That's all 4 good ones, bro.
It's like they're floating over the plate, and you're just like.
I don't want to offend her or nothing. I'm just a knucklehead, Denise. I like to have fun.
I've been around the rodeo
Denise,
a few
your
times.
connection seems to be a little
I'll let you know if you've been.
All right.
Oops.
White man, black man, Chinese
Uh-oh.
man walking to a. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. I was gonna see if I could offend her.
Man, where did all the trolls go? I was in the mode. I was playing whack-a-mole.
We had a bunch there. Hey, Flo, I want to thank you and the other mods. Most of you guys been really, especially you, and very.
And I blocked that Illumitami, by the way. That wasn't the real Illumitami. That was a sock.
Okay, good.
Actually,
Yeah,
there's a handful of them towards the end. I just started hiding them.
Hey, when I came in, Flo, I told my girl, "Hey, Flo was in here." When I went to type in chat, I was like, "Hey, I never even look at the chat. I see." Just say this: I had to ask Siri, how long is one is 8,000? Some crazy shit. 23 hours and something was Siri's answer. Somebody got smacked around. That Illumitami guy got knocked around for 23 hours before he can return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just
because it comes up in seconds.
Yeah, so I asked Siri, yes, you know, what is that? I was like, that got to be days. And it was 23 and a half hours.
Man, I slammed my thumb on Mark Jones, and then I read the rest of the sentence, and I saw the LOLJK. I was like, "Woo, you're playing with it." He knows that I've got my fingers on the trigger.
I can't say shit. When I first started, I was the worst, bro. I would time off. I thought one guy got 28 times. 10th man, you probably know him, or one of y'all probably met him. That was the day we met. I used to have so much fun. Popping motherfucker was stupid. I ain't popped the motherfucking ears now, man. I probably ain't timed the motherfucker out in years.
I hate washing dishes too. There's nothing meditative about washing dishes. The whole time I'm trying not to get that. Like, I don't want to touch this. I don't want to touch that.
Certain stuff, yeah. Right,
like if the sink's filled with water and you got to reach the bottom, and they give me the hacksaw. I got to amputate this arm now.
Right, I'm done with this hand. If you got to reach in there and scoop shit out so it'll fall in, that's just. I'm with you. It's like I'm just wait for it to be over. I can't wait for it to be over. How can I meditate washing dishes, man? All I'm thinking about is how I want this torture to end.
When I met my girlfriend, I was in the stage of just treating non-disposable dishes as disposable dishes.
Yeah.
The first time she came over to the house, she looked at my trash. She's like,
"The fuck
are you doing? Are those dishes?" I'm like, yeah.
It's really dirty though.
I got a good job. I got a little daughter. I don't have time to be doing dishes. I'll just buy new shit.
I get accused of that with t-shirts in the city. I just buy a new t-shirt every day, man. So I don't know. I got like hundreds. I only wear them once. So I got like hundreds of them motherfuckers, man. And my buddies always like, go to Goodwill or something, man. So I'd be like, it's $5, bro.
Dude, that shit's all getting more expensive now. Like socks and shit. It's like you can't hardly buy socks for less than $20.
It's the shirt is really like $12.99 or something, but it's the hood, and I've been fucking with these people forever. You know, discounts fly in the hood.
Really,
you can't beat a nice t-shirt for a fin.
It turns into like sort of a tab sort of situation, right? You can put it on your tab. You can pay it down with whatever.
I got a lot of buddies do that, man, and I got good credibility with motherfuckers, but I've never done that once. And everybody I know hops in there, and you know them, like you're saying, hey, Friday, man, give me a pack of squares to Friday. They all right, Bill, and I've never done that one personally, though, man.
I haven't either, but you know, I see people do that. I don't like having debt.
Yes, I can. That's why I bought my car outright. I'm not okay with that either, man.
Yeah, I don't have any car loans at all, and I can't see myself ever having another car loan.
Right, it's nonsensical. Man,
I would much rather buy a new $5,000 car every year than I would buy $100,000 car and just have to pay on it constantly.
Right, it's crazy.
I'm just gonna smoke in it anyways. Spill Pepsi on the center console, you know?
No fucking way. by the time you know it gets shitty, you're just now finishing paying on it. You didn't even get to enjoy the fucking
Right.
newness of it, man.
Yeah, just paid it off. Time to trade it in.
All right. That was no fun. Denise, you look clearer, so I guess you're pretty good. Your internet's better. Oh yeah, you're sharp now.
Yeah, I am.
All right, might have spoke too soon.
Yeah. My connection went, so I had to come back.
All right. So I was saying, Denise, I'm really upset with this guy, right? He knows that I'm transgender, but he keeps calling me a girl, and that just pisses me to no end. What do you think?
He is a girl.
I'm confused.
We
he
all
keeps
are.
calling me by the incorrect pronoun. He
You're
keeps calling
not
me he.
carrying off the atmosphere of being a girl very much. I mean,
Exactly.
It's very convincing.
I've transitioned to a man, but he
when you
keeps calling
say
me a
you're
girl.
transgender, do you mean you're a woman who's now behaving as a man, and this low voice is something that you're able to do?
Please
Or-
mind.
Or are
Please
you
mind
Blew
my.
his thumb real hard and blew his vagina out. All
You
right,
know what?
I gotta
I
shut this
think
down.
you guys can just handle this yourself. Goodbye.
Man, it was a joke. I thought she wasn't sensitive. What the fuck? She looking for the off.
And
don't
see,
even-
here I took myself offline.
I don't even know what happened there.
I don't know. It's funny as fuck.
All right.
No. Oh. How we bragging on this, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be bragging on how I cracked the trans joke and the old lady who I never met hopped off a friend's panel. I would be fucking bragging.
That was good. Seamless teamwork right there.
I thought it was funny. She got offended. Damn it, Floyd.
I was distracted by someone in the back, and hey, well, praise be.
Oh fuck! Hey, I'm sorry,
praise God.
Denise.
You know what? I'm sure God thinks that's funny too.
Well, I know what this panel brings, and even if I got distracted for a minute, you got to have a sense of humor to hang out.
I kind of warned her and told her to be joking. You're right. I don't know.
You've been joking since you got here. You came in with a good mood, good spirit. So keep it up, man. Hey, actually, admittedly, just reflecting briefly, she came in already with some tenderness and some triggers.
Okay.
She admitted her anger.
Right.
So,
I blame Flo. He should have been aware and warned me that she's sensitive. I blame your co-host.
I texted you, man. I said, don't
check your
make
phone sometimes.
No trans jokes around
I was
her.
hoping that was Denise, so I could fucking apologize.
What's up, big dog?
How you doing?
What's up?
welcome,
Doing all
Uncle
right.
Fatty.
Good to see you, fellas.
You as
Uncle
well.
Fatty,
You too.
listen. I am catching trouble with someone who would not recognize my proper pronoun. What should I do, Fatty?
Well, how are you doing today there, we or they?
Mhm.
I mean, I want to be, respectful.
Joe identifies as a pigeon, a carrier pigeon to be specific.
Oh shit.
But when we are in that real state of flow, like literally I can snowboard with my eyes closed. That's my ultimate spot. I'm a carpenter, I build stuff, and I love being in that woodworking zone and that focus zone, but snowboarding, man, I'm telling you, like through the trees, eyes closed, in like just
No,
dude.
stop it. That's not flow state. That's just insanity.
It's risky as fuck, but I dig it, bro. I dig that shit, right?
Yeah.
I try not to hit mine driving. I have to be careful because my mind can go there, and then I look up and be like, "Oh fuck, I was driving. I've been forgot for miles that I was even driving."
Or like you ever pull into a place and you don't remember the drive at fucking all?
Oh yeah, plenty of times, right? You got in the car, you thought about a thing, and you don't even know how the fuck you got there.
The body just takes us
40 minutes away. along the lake, up the pass, down around through the field, and I'll get to work and be like,
the fuck?
I was sleeping the whole way.
Yeah.
But
Do
when
it on
we're in
the
that
highway.
zone, when we are in that zone, when we are hyper focused, do we worry about identifying ourselves at that point? Do we even really recognize ourselves at that point, or is ourself projected a little bit ahead, just enough to anticipate 2 or 3 moves ahead of the game? You know, and those 2 or 3 moves come so instinctually and so pure that you're not even really thinking about what you're doing. You're just enjoying the moment, you know?
I had to compare it to basketball. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
You're not thinking about none of that shit. By the time you're watching the shot, your body done did it on its own. You're not identifying nothing. And probably like you say, I'm not really even a part of it.
Boom, full state zone.
You're not really a part of it. When that's happening, it's like you're sitting back watching shit happen, man.
All right. You know, and I watch these guys on the X Games and all these, you know, extreme snow sport stuff, and I'm just like, I used to do all that, and I can still hit a lot of that big stuff.
No way.
When you're going that fast, everything slows down. You know, it's like when you wreck your bike on a kid, when you're a kid, and you get that tunnel vision, and everything gets it starts clicking, you know, and your eyes start hitting that RPM, and
buddy.
Nothing better in life, dude. Nothing better in life than that right there.
They did a good experiment on that. There was some where the time slows down when you're going through a thing. If it's real, there were a couple poor ones done, and someone had an idea. We're gonna throw a motherfucker off a cliff into a net or something, and we're gonna have a watch on them with numbers that spin really fast that you can't read. They're moving so fast you can't see them. Then when they throw you off that cliff, you can see the numbers suddenly, like it does slow down or you sharpen or speed up or something. Yeah, like it's real.
And it's like Denise was saying about the speed painting. My son has gotten into painting here recently in the past couple of years, and he, rather than worrying about the technique and worrying about each stroke and worrying about being Bob Ross, just having the vision of what you want to do and putting it down and getting it down, it's going to look really better. Being from a state of flow, from a state of now, and a state of here. You know,
I'm thinking Bob Ross did it enough where he could do that shit relatively fast and talk to you at the same time. In some ways, he was creating good shit in that state that he was in.
And it takes people months to try to recreate one of his paintings. You know, they'll pause and work for 10 minutes off of every little segment of one of his films, and
he'd just be like, "Here, I'm gonna take the fan brush, create some leaves, give me some of that something blue, Pisidian blue or something. I can't remember the word no more."
And like we were talking last week, Jack, about, you know, about anxiety and about depression and about stress, you know, and just being able to let go of those binders that society has bound us with. The anticipation of knowing what we're going to be in our 5-year plan and how many mega yachts I'm going to have.
I dig it.
You can't complete that when you're living in that state of the future and anticipation, and you're always reacting and you're not acting.
Even worse is when we're carrying these traumas from the past. We haven't been honest with ourselves or others, and then
we're getting older.
And those expectations we place on things, those expectations, those hopes, future tripping and living in the memory. That's what trips us up. And that's why the topic really, the key is if we can train our mind to be present. We're not always perfect, but at least if we're paying attention, maybe we stop being so reactive.
That's part of the cognitive mental mind is, you know, realizing right now that, you know, I can give you 3 feelings how I'm feeling at any given point during the day, right? That right now I'm feeling, you know, pretty calm. I'm feeling pretty secure. I'm, you know, feeling accepted, definitely.
Yeah.
Where we're right now, when you're triggered,
Yeah.
And realizing that everything is a trigger. It's a positive trigger sometimes, and it's a negative trigger.
That's dope.
But is it a trigger that you're going to instantly react on? I mentioned, last week that just the word ex-wife.
Yeah. Yes.
Sets off chemical emotions in people's bodies.
Yeah. Ex-girl
Just
does
the word
me,
ex-husband.
Yeah. What's up, Michelle?
Instantly, so it's a matter of recognizing those chemicals that are in our brain that shoot us different ways, and we don't even realize we're being shot at. The ammunition is not being used against us in the cognitive way. We're using those chemicals to recognize where we're at, how we feel, why we want to continue down one path or not. And maybe that's some of the problem that Mr. Talcott is having with the Talcott Nation, of just kind of, from what I can see, coming on here just to kind of trigger Jack and see what they can get as a reaction out of him, Well, he stays super calm and is just like, you guys don't understand that I'm at peace with myself.
Oh, we got a different
you can't
Jack.
really,
I'm on the wrong show. This Jack
right?
snaps some motherfuckers and boots them. You got a different Jack.
Hey, Uncle Fatty, thank you for seeing what you see. Joe Cool.
He's right, except for the
listen
part
to
that
him.
you
No,
right.
I'm getting better. I am getting better. And what that is my goal. And honestly, this is, well, I haven't figured out if it's good to speak your intentions out or just to keep them within, because I've heard advice both ways.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, blessings. Welcome to the group.
Guru, it is good, baby.
In a way to manifest as well. When we don't speak them and we don't get our intentions out into the universe.
Yes, Dan, and we have less of a chance of being effective if we don't speak them. That's good philosophy.
For real.
The downside is when you put the words out there, the devil, and the devil and others will want to trip you up and show you you're wrong.
Well,
but
opposites attract. When you're super positive all the time, positive attracts negative. When you're super negative all the time, you're going to have a bunch of positive people saying, "Man, you should be more positive."
Yes. I think it'd be seeking out energy, man. It looks like whenever you're positive, and I don't blame the person, it's like the energy, what motherfuckers might call the devil, the demon, whatever the fuck in them makes them crush it. It's instinctive. They're even unaware. On most levels, they're totally unaware of what's going on, man. They don't know why they gotta crush your joy, or when you get something good, wish bad on you, wish you to go to jail or whatever. Motherfuckers is instinctive.
It's I really look at a lot of stuff through the eyes of an addicted person, being these terms and these words like rationalizations, justifications, cop out. Just the word cop out alone, excuses, the projection, the denial that leads to anger, that leads to fear, that leads to excuses and more excuses, and that pattern is real easy to see in the hate game online. There's a big hate game online, and there's kind of a big. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm saying this is my experience. That's why I like Jesse's show. That's why I like Mr. Talcott's show. That's why I like Mr. Flow State's show as well. Is it's more of a conversation than a debate. Because when you're always debating, you're trying to prove your point. But that's not the point of the debate. Is not that point. In debate, you study both sides. You know both sides, because you never know what side the teacher's going to put you on that day.
I would agree. So why would you assume
So in debate, the point is debate. The point is argument.
Yes,
but when
it's a
debates
good thing.
just
I
turn into
thought you said it's
arguments,
a bad thing.
I was
compared
trying
to
to
just having
make
a conversation. It's totally two different things. And you got one's.
I was trying to make a point. Remember, I brought up the question of, is it better to speak out your goal or not?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to speak out that goal because it's in line with this.
Okay, go ahead, Dan. Jay.
I encourage others to consider it. what I've been thinking about for myself is my standards, you know, and I've got high standards for myself, yet I've been, what you said, making excuses for some of my old habits, including my anger, my profanities, my reactions. I've been making excuses.
Very
And
good.
and so what I realized is I've really been beating myself up about my consumption, you know, the nicotine, and I relapsed on that and whatever.
Yeah.
But then where I'm at now, based on conversations, my goal is to present balanced and neutral, to be calm and steady. And if I can become more perfect in my presence with others, that's what our goal is.
Just finding that balance, you know.
I think you're
Balance.
saying if you can be more present, you could control your anger and your reactions better. Yeah.
Yes. And be more graceful, allowing,
I
and
like that too.
more self-control. But yeah, there's a
I
lot
think you're
to it.
1,000% right, by the way. I think you're 1,000% right.
Being on a teeter-totter is a lot easier with somebody that's your own weight,
Yeah. Steel
right?
sharp steel.
And when you give anger all the weight in your life and you're constantly just ping-ponging back and forth and you're bouncing off the ground and your ass is just thumping every time,
Yeah.
it's not a very fun ride, you know. And that balance is what I think more than anything that people seek. And as a Libra, I've always kind of tuned into that balance that Libra is always looking for, always being caught in that 49 to 51% choice.
Wait. I was going to ask you that. I'm glad you said that. So, so you assume that the balance should be 49, 51, right about even. That's balance in this situation.
In a way of looking at life, and in a way of dealing with our actual feelings compared to our emotions that are driven kind of from our feelings.
Right.
The more we can understand that balance, the more we can understand
the balance, though. I'm thinking it shouldn't be 50, 50, 49, 51.
I don't either. Right.
All right. Very good.
Then you're not going anywhere.
No. I think it should be heavily on the side. We're talking about nervousness and triggering and unthoughtfulness as opposed to a peaceful state. I want that peaceful state 90% of the time. I would agree there's time for anger and all of those things, but I want peace to take massive amount of that balance. If we're talking about the same thing here.
But you like it. You like exercising the anger sometimes.
I need it. I get sick.
I see you come out of you. What the fuck did you tell me?
I gotta go chase the streets. I get like weird.
It's like, thank God this dude gave me a reason.
Yes, I'll be looking for it. You're right.
And as a First Amendment auditor, that's finding that state of balance is definitely something. While we're making decisions, that a decision should be a 100% yes. You should feel that decision that, but you know what? Not only is it a yes, but it's a fuck yeah.
Here's the
fuck
problem.
Yeah. Straight up, yes.
Here's the problem with that. You're running into so many new situations, right? You barely got a hold on what you know, and then you run into a situation where there's more cops or there's a law you're unaware of, whether I'm on solid footing. So it's hard to be confident going into all of those motherfucking situations.
But you're confident enough to where it's not a no. And there's really no, there's no second thinking. There's no in the moment of wishing.
You must,
right?
Yes, 100%. You must be committed. You're absolutely right. You're right.
Right.
Even if like I don't know, I'm unsure about a thing, but I can't stay at home. I'm gonna walk in there and find you're gonna have to kick me out if I'm unsure, motherfucker. It's better to find forgiveness than permission. I'm gonna go for it, nigga. You didn't post the signs well enough, or whatever the situation may be. Yes, I'm gonna try it every fucking time. If you think here, girl, I probably shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't be. Girl.
We got a couple of guys up here that do that the wrong way. They do it, from a very standoffish,
You afraid,
very
my man?
rude
You must.
way.
I wasn't gonna say
Yeah.
that, but you open the door. You got a lot of cop watches, and I judge motherfuckers by the distance. I hate to do it because I love a lot of niggas that do it at a distance, but that is a courage when a motherfucker walk right up there and does what he got to do, and then you take the risk of being backed it up. It's much safer if you stay super far away. So I'm not saying which is good or bad, but I know courage when I see it, bro. And that's the way it should be. I shouldn't be afraid of this guy. They put it in our heads that this guy is all powerful. If you make one misstep, you will be in jail and you will be marred, your reputation and all of that shit. There's a lot of fear involved in walking up there, period. With a camera, it's damn near death wish. One of those 4 cops is going to react badly. I don't know. It's a dangerous game. Where I was going with that is I judge people by that. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I was watching a nigga today. He's got a relatively new channel. He's doing this shit, and he's going to these places, and they're kicking him out, and he's immediately leaving, and it's all repeated like he ain't learned nothing. Blah blah blah. And in my head, I'm thinking, and great, you did it the first time. Hats off. It's difficult. Oh, you did it again. Now you're doing what's easy. You got to take it to the next fucking step, and I didn't respect him no more.
And maybe that's where some of the some of the terms that we deal with addiction with can be applied to regular life in that sense that right there is insanity. That is trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yes.
That's a pattern in life that we got to recognize in ourselves.
Yes.
Like I said, we're all about programming. We're programmed one way. We allowed ourselves to be programmed one way. We accepted certain programming and not another. And we're not responsible for how we were programmed as children.
Right.
And coming through our teens, especially peer pressure and everything else through high school. But as adults, we are responsible to look at that programming, to understand it. And that's part of the addictive cycle. You have to recognize the problem first. You got to get through that denial. You got to recognize that there is a problem. Then you got to understand it and where it came from and why that problem exists. What is the programming involved behind it? And then you got to change it. That's the serenity prayer right there. Yep. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
And what works?
I had a little AA coin in my freshman year.
Hold on.
And I rubbed that thing for years and years and years.
I'm sorry, but maybe you don't hear Jack. He was trying to say something.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying and all of that works. What works on the individual works on the greater scope as well. And what breaks us of the patterns, what breaks us of the habits is an intentional focus on the present, and recognizing the present is the start of the future. So to get out of our addiction and our slave mindset and the patterns of the past, we've got to start thinking of the future better.
Reprogram us. I'm sorry. You went down.
Reprogram. Absolutely. Yeah. Unlearn and rewrite the rules.
With the good shit, with the correct shit.
Unlearn.
So let's do that at the national level as well. The community level, the state level, the national level. Let's unlearn the rules that have been written and let's reevaluate what is righteous, what is real, what is important.
More capitalism, legal drugs.
No, well,
Free Joe Cool.
Free Joe Cool. Hell yeah.
I don't know why I keep thinking this though, but you say reprogram what's acceptable. It keeps blowing my mind that what's acceptable to us is really weird. And I use the same shit. If your grandma would say, "No, I'm not signing that ticket," someone will smash her window, snatch her out, electrocute her ass, put her in cuffs. And we've been programmed that that's fine and fair. It fucks with me, man.
Bringing a smile to others is a huge one there, Chuck, too. That, being being the light, you know, and that's almost every religion, when it comes down to it, is more about being the light, being the example that attracts the moth.
Yes.
Spreading that love, you know, Bob Marley style, straight up. I'll tell you what, on the ski hill, I have a point every day that I'm on the ski hill to try to give 1,000 high fives.
Right on, baby.
You walk up to somebody in any
optimistic, but
situation other than on a ski hill with a random high five, a lot of
Yes.
people are going to kind of like,
What's
but when
wrong
you're
with
in
you?
that, right, in that environment of stoke and building the stoke onto
I
other
was about
people
to
and
say,
putting
think of
the
what
stoke.
right. Think of what you're adding, right? You know what I'm saying? You're adding something good on that hill, if not into the ethereal as a whole, right? You certainly add something better to that hill. You're giving everybody a better chance at landing that fucking jump. At least giving the next guy a smile. You're adding something positive actively.
And we do that on the job sites, building houses. You got to keep the stoke up, because the first guy on the job site that says, "Look,"
All right.
down
Yes.
goes the whole entire game, dude.
Yes, agreed. Yes.
It only takes one guy out of 8.
Yes. Same with the team. You're playing basketball or anything, football. I'm watching football today. All it takes is for one guy to get super hyped. Suddenly the whole team's hyped, or for one guy to be disgusted and discouraged, and it spreads like wildfire.
Hey, I'm clearing here to clear the floor for Angry Cot Face.
Is that a person?
No, yeah, that's Jack. Jack had the angry cop face going.
I'm on the phone, Jack. You got to say something audible.
Yeah.
I can't even see you. I'm usually looking off into
Well,
the
did I
ashtray.
misinterpret the angry cot?
Yeah, I'm okay. I appreciate you looking
Well,
out.
thanks, Flo.
I wasn't wrong. He's just like changing
Yeah,
directions
nice.
off a bit or something. I
Yes.
watched it build.
I'm
totally go ahead, Jack.
wondering. I feel like, well, I don't know. I feel like kind of lost track.
Oh yeah, I've been zoned out.
I think you know,
it's because we're so spiritual, right? Like we're up in the ether.
The shit that Fatty is saying is resonating with Jack. He's probably got a lot of shit, right? By now,
So I know,
he's
I know
listening.
Jack saw
It's
my
crazy.
comment from a couple days ago. Thursday's show, I dropped in a bit on the Thanksgiving show, or no, I think it's yesterday, Friday. A good friend of mine, straight up brother of mine, passed away Thursday night, and he was dealing with a lot of family and divorce stuff, you know, for the past 20 years,
Sucks.
three kids, 3 sons, and dude got to the point, guys, where he was drinking a half of a freaking gallon of Jägermeister every day.
Yeah, see,
like 2/5, bro. 2/5 of Jägermeister a day minimum, on top of handfuls of oxys, whatever else he could get. His
I gotta
hands
ask:
on.
is Jägermeister beer or a drink?
It's
That's the kind of
Liquor
dark
thing,
licorice.
It's like a green square bottle that has a deer on it. Dark
green bottle.
I don't drink.
He's
I
black.
mean, it's, you know, it's almost a whiskey. It's a 80 proof, you know,
It's
but it's
not
more
like
of
anything else. It's like black licorice. It's
like a liqueur,
cough syrup.
you know, thick cough syrup. Yeah, right.
It's yeah.
Speaking of
like black licorice schnapps.
He got
I
into
have
cough
no
syrup
desire
quite a
to
while
try
too.
that shit now.
Yeah.
None.
And
So
you know, the past year, I've really been working with my bro and really been working with him on these terms, these vocabulary words that were just not taught in life. You know, we're not taught in home ec class about rationalizations, justifications, cop outs, projection, denial, and, you know,
yes,
and how to deal with those feelings. And, you know, he went and got himself baptized. It was about 6 or 8 months ago. And I think in the past really few months had really found some peace that he'd never found before in his
very
life.
good. I was hoping
You know,
he went on a high note because you was like, he's been dealing with divorce and shit. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it sucks to go out with that. So I'm glad you say you had a respite before.
No, I think, you know, he freaking died in bed, you know,
Ooh.
after having dinner with his family.
Wow.
He went and laid down. And I got this feeling that he was finally at the point where he could just, accept life for what it is on life's terms. There's
That's
nothing
good.
we can do.
There's not.
We're only given one debt. We only owe one debt. We're not given tomorrow.
Me.
We're not given a second
Yeah.
from now.
Pay up.
Debts,
We
debts is
gotta,
what you're saying. One debt.
Yeah, one debt.
it's
Hey,
life.
One debt is all that I need, and then you miss one payment, and I've got you then because
Yes.
Yeah.
the
And
fees,
being debt
the
free.
late fees, the interest, all these things are intentionally vague. You miss one payment, and you're forever in debt.
The Bible
Yep.
says borrower is servant to the lender. And like you say, once you owe me and you missed your payment, I got you. You're like a
Yeah.
slave now to me. I control over you.
It's like being on probation, and
Debt.
every payment
Did you just
is a
talk?
daily UA, and you miss one daily UA, and you're
Yeah.
stuck in that system forever.
I tell them to come suck it out themselves.
But yeah, I'm having trouble. Can you come help me?
Yeah, I told my PO that once too. Yeah, that went real well.
So that I appreciate you sharing, because I saw your comment earlier. It wasn't making sense, but it sounds like he went through his hell. He started finding recovery, and then after finding peace, his life was complete.
I can see it that way, where other folks can just see it in a different way. And we're gonna death is a weird one. That's the hardest thing that we really deal with, is having to let go of the possible memories that could be created, rather than really cherishing and holding on to those ones that we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
I'm not that deep.
I want to throw I've heard some interesting theories, and I don't, if it brings peace, hopefully doesn't cause offense, but the idea that this time we're living in is a shift, that there's a purpose and a real opportunity that's happening through us and with us. And as I've heard, there will be people here, many will pass before it's done. Many are here to serve a purpose, to help wake others up, or to help inspire others to move on. And I've also heard it said that some people will have experienced such tragedy and horror in the earlier parts of their life that they'll choose to release this timeline and come back in a better place. So any infinite number of things are possible.
Man.
Yeah,
I took that second one as suicide. Give up on this one and try again, like hitting the restart button.
Spiritually, it's a fresh start, and it's not a conscious choice. And it sounded like in this case, his friend passed, without clear cause or explanation. So
it may be
I know what it was.
something.
It could be as simple as he was in construction. He worked a lot around insulation. He worked a lot around dust and debris. It could have been as simple as just a piece of dust that got out of his lung. Who knows?
It could have been, could have been he gave up, like you were kind of hinting toward. I haven't verified this myself, but I've heard this a lot, that a lot of people who've been married for 50 years or something, their spouse dies and shortly they die after, like they just gave up. So maybe your friend, after getting beaten for so long, and kind of like what Jack is talking about, motherfucker be like, you know what, I'd rather try again. This sucks.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, I think I think people are lost from our lives for their purpose, and it is a catalyst and a lesson and a strength for us. You said he left behind some young kids too?
Yeah, they're my kids' age. They're in their mid to late 20s by now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But they're a couple of grandkids, which I don't have yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Even though my girls are recently married here last summer and the summer before, and got some great guys, and I can't wait to be a granddad. But
that's groovy,
the
right?
Uncle Fatty's better. I can be the uncle that my friends were to me. You know,
Granddad
that
Fatty.
and
Right?
like, yeah, you know,
Grandpa
having-
Fatty has a fucking ring to it.
Grandpa
It does,
Fatty.
but then I got to grow out the Santa beard, you know, and I like the tight little uncle beard. But you know, I can be the crazy uncle that shows up with a super loud birthday gift, and all the, you know, I'm always showing up with candy, and be that guy that you can talk to that's not your dad. That's a hard person to find, and when you're, you know, in your comeuppance, you know.
And you know what? I honor that. That's my goal. I think every man should do that. Should be able to play that role. But there's a lot of men who don't know themselves.
Were you ever involved with the Boy Scouts, Jack?
Yeah, as a scout, not as a leader. But yeah,
I was a scout. Yeah,
Eagle.
I was a Weezo and a scout. So I went to. I didn't realize all this until recently. Here, literally.
That's crazy. 3
I went
panel at the same
No.
What are the odds?
And I was raised Catholic too, Joe. So you know, it goes both ways.
So you know he must be gay.
And I was an altar boy, so hey.
Totally gay.
But from a scout's point of view, you know, that civic-minded drive to, you know, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to help other people at all.
Now, you guys took me there. I'm from the ghetto. I've never actually seen a Boy Scout in real life.
Wow.
Is that because he said on my honor, and because the way we talk, was it brainwashing, and was it conditioning?
It's programming. It is.
Programming. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
I think it's good programming for young boys to go through some sort of forced civil exercise. And whether that's voluntary,
white kids.
Give me the bad. I mean, what's the bad part of it, programming wise?
So I went to Cub Scouts at a Mormon church. I went to Weeblos and whatever else at a Presbyterian church. And then finished out my later years of Boy Scouts at the Episcopal church. And I didn't really realize, other than the fact that we had a big meeting room and we needed a big enough room for everybody to meet. I honestly, you guys, I didn't. First of all, Joe, there was no colored folks up around North Idaho in the 90s. There's a few.
All right, listen, as a friend, you know, I don't give a fuck personally, but
in general,
black,
they weren't there.
Colored. Some motherfuckers sensitive to the word colored. You're gonna use.
Well, there weren't any Jews in our group either, and I didn't really realize that the Jewish folks had their own Explorer Scouts and their own kind of thing going on.
All right, I understand.
You know, and growing up in an uncultured.
Somebody's doorbell rang.
We know it's not Jack's. I'm kidding.
You know, just
not having your hand before you answer the door. You don't know who that is. They might try to snatch it.
Oh, that was bogus. Wait, I've never.
Should we all start making sex noises while he answers the door?
Absolutely, right?
Lindsay, why are you pissed now?
Oh my God! I chased the old lady away earlier today. Totally forgot.
Well, we are, you know, basically just goes to we are a product of our environment, and growing up with, you know, kind of a scout mentality of, you know, helping others and being civically minded. And, you know, I've always kind of been that way, where somebody from across the state or across the nation didn't have that same experience, but still wants to be a community leader, still wants to have that engagement, but doesn't have that necessarily experience, doesn't have that programming and all these vocabulary words. Vocab is huge to me, especially in the construction business, where one term could literally throw off everything between 8 guys. If one guy says,
now.
Hurry the fuck up. Give me the BFH. What's the BFH? The big fucking hammer.
Jack, was it a late trick-or-treater? Ding Dong Ditch? Margot, or whatever that girl name is who ate you?
Mom did her Christmas shopping. Got a gift for the cats delivered.
I was thinking maybe she sent you a Ukrainian wife. I bet they're on sale now.
I looked into those a long time ago.
That doesn't surprise me.
But you got to date them online for 6 months first, and that'll cost you at least 10 grand.
Yeah, it's a risky maneuver. But with the war going on, you can probably get 3 for the price of 1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get them in bulk while you can.
Hey, I forgot that connection. Holy cows! Yes.
Yeah, I mean they're probably on sale. It's probably a good time to buy.
And it dinged up a little bit.
That's one thing about war is it brings the value of the assets down.
Why
you think Joe was having riots by all the Federal Reserve buildings in 2020? You know,
that is why that war is happening. There's going to be so many profits made from the rebuilding, because eventually war will end, and then there will be all the rebuilding and all the deals with the governments, and they get all their little parts and pieces.
Then we'll have to have more wars to keep the economy chugging along. Come on,
yes,
Jack.
I've never seen
capitalism.
BlackRock, the head of BlackRock, whatever that cat's name is, he's capitalizing in a way I haven't seen. He made a deal with who's the guy before the Israel war, the Russians and the Ukrainians. He made a deal with the Ukrainians to take over their economy and guarantee it stabilizes. This is, BlackRock. He's made a deal with the government now to take over the economy and assure some shit.
Dude,
crazy.
Couldn't have seen that coming.
It happened in American history too with those bankers. I don't remember which one. Rockefeller, was it Rockefeller? No, Morgan. Morgan allegedly bailed out the U.S. government, and
wow, J.P. Morgan.
It's this game. It is it's
Morgan was a.
What's
sorry.
that?
I was going to say J.P. Morgan was a Rockefeller come up, so it was probably Rockefeller money.
Yeah.
Yes, he was an agent.
Railroad money.
But it's the bankers' monopoly game hidden under the guise of free market capitalism. We're not free.
We're closer to fascism than any other economic system.
Yes. Yes. So that's what the past has brought us to.
And that's why everybody needs to get government contracts with their businesses. Keep an eye on the local municipalities. Submit bids at the meetings. Get that government cheese. Put your girlfriend on the board of the local art committee. Put her in as a treasury. Start making art out of scrap metal. Whatever it takes.
Hey, you do know the system. You know the way it works. I think we should change it.
Or should we
can only affect change from the inside? So you got to get in. You got to get in to affect the change. But then you get so accustomed to that check coming in, you're not going to give up that job. Like I said, it's
can you change the system?
Yes, and what he's saying, through those who are in the system, but I don't see going into the system as the way. I see the way as actually claiming our proper place, which is over top of the system. And so we speak to the servants, the people in Congress and the White House, Joe Biden. Yeah. We speak to them as our public servants, not as there's some fucking authority. Go ahead.
If you're not a fan of Confucius, you should check him out. He spent
Confucius is gay.
Confucius, yeah. he spent
I don't like Confucius.
He spent an inordinate amount of time talking to politicians, and he shared your belief that if I could just get through to them, then they'd understand. After a very long time, when he thought that couldn't work, he decided. He's famous for saying the government will never work unless philosophers become politicians or politicians become philosophers. So he thought all these political friends would aid him in becoming a politician and he'd make the change himself. Neither never ever occurred. They never changed their ways with him in that ear all the time, and they never backed him and allowed him to become a politician. Neither one happened. Read Confucius, you might learn something and avoid some of his missteps.
Thank you, Joe. I haven't gone deep involved, but I know that about his involvement with the state and stuff. And I didn't agree with all of his philosophies that came out. It was still, he brought forth a lot of top down discipline with hierarchies, even if it was just the family. I know he was real strong on honoring the father and the elders, and I believe, I don't know that, but that's what I think I remember.
Yeah, definitely, and was in a state of autocracy, and the times that these folks were living in, like even looking at like Socrates, Aristotle, some of the Greek philosophers and stuff,
Plato.
living in the state of an autocracy, of an authoritarian type society, compared to really the new school of democracy, of each person supposedly having a representative, and that representative supposedly represents their word. Public servants aren't really public servants anymore. It is kind of, even we talked about last week, Jack, is that, the public servant mentality might be there, but the overall drive and the overall want and need is to keep your job. And when there's no term limit, you don't become a public servant. You become a slave to the grind of the Citizens United game. That the corporations are people, and corporations can buy politicians and buy the Supreme Court and buy whatever the frick any country they want. If you got $1 billion, you could go into Ukraine and be like, "Hey, bro, check this out. Ding, da, ding, bing, da, boom. Now I own you."
This is it. And when corporate and state combine, that's when we've got fascism. And Flo called it out perfectly. It is. So
it's the cycle. It has to happen that way. That's the way the cycle works. And
I actually kind of agree with
that tide. We can try to hold that tide back, and we can control the border and the pressure of that tide, but it will come and it will flow that way. It has to happen. It's part of the cycle. That's the way I see it.
I understand this is a cycle. We're part of it. I want to interrupt it. I think many of us want to interrupt it. I see a way. I see many ways to do it. How do we get the momentum going? I don't know. Where I'm at, you know what? As I'm speaking this through, these hopes, these expectations, that's what's brought forth some of my disappointment, some of the angry caught and the frustration. So I'm here in the present. But I believe in this present, brothers and sisters, if we allow the spirit of who we are to move us, we're going to find ways.
I'd like to move it. That's how
I was just thinking that.
Shit, the spirit's moving me again.
Well, the spirit. Hey. Oh, go ahead.
When we're working in these present times to create a better future, are we creating that better future for a purpose of humanity having a better life, of all of humanity experiencing something better than we have right now, or are we doing it selfishly as I think the world should be this way?
Oh, I would have assumed every motherfucker here. Stop looking at me.
That's where our drive, I think, maybe gets a little one branched or another branch. Is I think it should be this way, and I'll fight for it to be this way, compared to the compassionate way of thinking that, if this remains to be the path, then all of humanity is going down a path that isn't from a point of carrying compared to force, right?
Right. I think Trumpers. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I wanted the selfish thing here. I just watched a video earlier today. I mention this guy often, Shunyamurti. He was talking today about his goal. He was creating a new path. He pointed out that I'll clumsily explain it, but drop the link in the chat there too.
Shadi Guru's too. He does the same.
He's another one I enjoy. But today what he was talking about is how the world had become corrupted by selfishness. And try as he might, he's not been able to convince people to stop being selfish. So in that video, he says, I'm creating a new way, a new dharma, I think is the term he used, but it's supreme selfishness. So if we become selfish for the true power, the true control, that means uniting with the divine force, uniting with God, selfishly seeking God. And he pointed out, I'm not sharing this path to help you. No, not in the least. But knowing that there is one I am presence, and the I am is all of us. And so if we all selfishly seek the divine wisdom, we'll make a better world.
Yeah, that sounds like, I'm sorry, I don't want to crush the guy you like, but that sounds like some bullshit to me, man.
You know, Popeye the Sailor Man.
Here.
Popeye the Sailor Man said, I am that I am, and that's all that I am.
I am what I am. You can't, I get it. It's true. If we all just focus on ourselves and becoming the best person, it would work. Yes, we all know that is. Problem is, we got the government out here programming motherfuckers and throwing them off track and giving them fluoride and shit so they can't think. So I could selfishly ascend because I know that. Or I could tell a few motherfuckers in my ascension, during my ascension, and maybe they'll catch on as well. Dude sounds frustrated to me. I'm tired of fucking with people that never change.
That's a great point, bro. That's a great point. I've got a hunch, being an EPA lead safe certified contractor. Okay. Anything that we do, anything we touch before the kind of early 80s, we got to test for lead paint. We got to make sure we do lead abatement. It's really like the asbestos abatement as well.
I remember both of them came along. Yeah.
There's a lot of lead in our copper pipes. There's a lot of lead in our old steel pipes that feed the water into our houses.
Of course there is. I never thought of that.
I got in mind that a lot of this nation right now is experiencing some lead poisoning. I think our lead levels are probably higher than they need to be. I think our infrastructure, the way it was built back in the day, was really not aware of any of this.
Yes.
That's why we got rid of lead in our gas. That's why we got.
But this would be expensive, right? If you admitted that it was in old pipes, suddenly this proposition gets really expensive. You got to change out all of the plumbing.
Crap. Is it? I don't know. I see the symptoms of lead poisoning is anger, first of all, and just irrationality, not being able to calm down enough. It activates our nervous system. It speeds our blood pressure and our heart rate up, and
dumbs you down as well. Makes you your critical thinking skills weaken. And
easily programmable, easily triggered.
Isn't that interesting? Kind of like fluoride.
Yeah, man. And that's. Is it really a tactic? Is it really a deep state thought that's been maneuvered against us? It very well could be. And if you don't at least recognize it, you'll never know that it's there and that it could be.
Listen. Right? You sold me 2 seconds ago when you said the shit's old. They may not have been insidious at that point. They may have been unaware. They were insidious, not to the point where they knew that the pipes would bring in the lead way back then. They may not have known that. I'll give them a pass on that, perhaps. But yes, the fluoride, it's obvious. It serves no purpose to put in your drinking water. If you read on it, all the effects are negative, no positive effects. Why put it in your fucking water? On the toothpaste thing, it reads, if it do not swallow, if you get too much of this shit, call Poison Center. Fluoride's not good for you. It's like bleaching on your teeth or something. Why would you put it in your drinking water?
And all the soaps that we use are all just leftover byproducts from the gas and oil industry.
We can change this. We can change. We can have more of a say. I know we can. It sounds like it's, the people making the decisions on this are far and distant away, but we're sharing the same lifetime together. And I think it's time for these corporate executives to rethink some of the chemicals and shit they're doing. it's time for a lot of people to start rethinking the choices they are making.
Kind of goes into absolutionist and destructive theory. Is, you know, does something have to be completely broken down for something to take its place, or
wait,
is
that
the
was the
natural
question
cycle
I
for
was just
something, you know?
that's the question I just wanted to ask. It was a question from Guru's room, Jack, that we talked about. If a system must be put in place, does it need to be built from ground up, or can this one be rehabilitated somehow?
Yeah, can you modify what you have?
I am of the belief that this one can be a starting point, that it would be nothing like what it is right now. But I think we've got most of the technology, we've got the low level technology and logistics worked out at this point. If we start working together and actually supporting the farmers, supporting the agriculture, supporting the people that are educating the children, if we start supporting each other in the areas that are important, we'll transform this.
Don't we have that belief though? I don't where I can only do for one motherfucker at a time, and that's me, right? You know, we're so fucking selfish. If you make $1, it's like it's coming out of my pocket, and I get envious and shit. Oh, we're doing it. We're the exact opposite folk, man.
We've been conditioned to live opposite of how we're supposed to. Seriously, we've been conditioned to live from the past. We don't need to remember the past. We can recall what we know and focus on the future, really. And not the future, I don't know, and even that's not really true, because we don't know the future, and when we start focusing on things that aren't there, well, we can drive ourselves insane pretty quickly. So,
but instinctively we do have that love for humanity and love for all of
I
life.
think you're right.
And
I think you're right.
the created, anything that's been and is living right now is a very unique thing and a very special thing that we just instinctively, you know, we draw ourselves to. We want to embrace that life and experience any other part of life that we can.
So
we don't
if you're
seek
right,
out funerals,
Fatty,
right?
if you're right, then again, if that's our nature, something is intentionally keeping us from it, right? It must be a plan. And Jesse, it is always fucking a pleasure to see you. And I've
For
never
sure.
been like, this cat. It is always, hey, you got good energy, pimp. But if that's our nature, why aren't we living up to it, Uncle Fatty?
Is that human nature? That's something that I bring up a lot with Jesse's guests online for a question is, what is human nature? Is human nature instinctively good, or is it instinctively kill, consume, degrade? You know, I think one is our cycle, one is our experience that is, say, the Industrial Revolution. It's the ball that we've been wound up in, and we're inside that ball, we're rolling down that hill. We can kind of control which way the ball's going, but right now the ball's so big that it's just is what it is. And we want to try to do what we can.
You saying both natures are so entangled right now? We can barely, you know, the nature do good, nature do bad. It's so entangled. All we can do is our best to keep it on the road. Is that what you're saying?
That's George Carlin right there to the T. Is that, you know what? It is what it is, and we're going to experience it however we're going to experience it. And maybe we're actually here because the earth needs plastic. Okay. 10 million years from now, somebody's going to need to come to this planet and get plastic. So that's our point of being here right now.
It's feasible,
is to create plastic and
Yeah.
put it back in the ground for them later.
Feasible,
we'll never
not
know.
sure. Yeah.
Hi, Jack.
How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. How's the stream going so far?
It's been fun.
Much
Been
better
into it.
since I got here. I heard it was a shit show full of trolls before I arrived.
Well, we were just covering wisdom until Joe showed up. But,
right, I just derailed everything.
We got
How you
flow
feeling
steak. Give
today,
me
Jack?
peanut food, Jack.
I'm feeling quite blessed, honestly. Today, I'm telling you, it seems, if it's not every day, it is very frequent that I'm gaining deeper understandings, deeper comfort, deeper levels of peace. Just
If I could say what my assessment of you, Jack, today, in my opinion, Jesse, he's been much more contemplative. A lot of times, he'll
Good word.
just kick in on just kicking in for the sake of kicking in, and kind of repetitive. No, he's been thinking every fucking thing out today, bro. I don't know what it
thank you.
was.
I'm working on it, trying to be more grounded and more present, more perfect in the present, because you guys are perfect. That's what the world deserves. The world deserves our best.
I am the lowest, lousiest, clumsiest, bad kid of God that there is, man. You all should be doing better than me. I'm the big goofy in the back of the class making too much noise. That's what I am.
Only some of the time. I've seen
We
you
love the
shine.
big, and we love the big goofy.
Yes.
Yep,
I'm
absolutely.
still in grammar school, man. I'm shocked he tolerates me, man.
We all play these roles, man. We're all the clown, all the jester. Who was it? Someone did a stream recently talking about the fool.
Yeah.
Fool and the jester. I was hearing some thoughts on that. We all play these roles. Go ahead.
I saw Ali and Sly Stone. If you remember Sly and the Family Stones, he was some flamboyant, skinny black R&B singer. I guess R&B would have covered black. But anyway, that dude,
Motown.
and they were, yeah, that think Motown. Yeah, they was on the show with one of his famous talk shows way back in the day. Ali was just before his fight with George Foreman. And two black guys, it's like three white guys. It's the Mike, whatever his name is. You guys probably can call it Mike something. He's got these ones like a professor, so and so, and they're asking questions. And Sly wants to joke around, and Ali's not having none of it. And he asked him, like, Joe, in the back room, we was joking around. Everything was cool. He's like, I'm not going to act like a fool in front of the white folk. Black folk get up here too much, show their damn teeth. I don't know, in that interview in particular, he said a lot of shit that I didn't agree with. I don't know about that part. I don't know. I don't know where I'm even going with that shit, but you made me think of that shit. Back in the clown, Ali had something to say about it yesterday on a show that I watched. I'm not going to be the fool in front of these people. And that shit made me think of, my God, how fucking racist that dude.
No, I mean,
Ali wanted separation. He didn't like white folk, bro.
Yeah.
Well, that was also probably was that recent or was that a while ago?
I watched it a couple days ago, but this would have been him and the Foreman fight was probably in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So,
When he was with the Nation of Islam and the Panthers,
this division that we've allowed ourselves to believe in, the division of race, the division of gender, sexuality, political preference,
party,
whatever.
Labels.
What'd you say? Fables?
Labels. Today everybody puts a label. The label is what really divides it. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, when really we're all one.
And probably of aspects of all of them. Today I might have a communist in me when I fucking took everybody's food or whatever. Yeah, you're all amalgamism. Jesse, you made me think that another thing I watch out for people is when they come up and they start trying to put a label on you. Oh, you must be a Democrat. You must be a so-and-so. Are you a socialist? And immediately it makes me think this person, it makes me think they're the type of person that is not a critical thinker. They like to box everybody so that they can facilitate their day like cops do. Just let me run your name. You got a record and stealing shit. You're a thief type motherfuckers, man. As opposed to looking at a person anew and giving them a second opportunity type shit.
Hey, led by the beat system.
I was thinking about this earlier, the isms. right? The capitalism, communism, all these
Socialism,
isms,
capitalism.
separations.
Yeah.
The isms created a lot of sides. Homicides, genocides, fratricide, insecticide, pesticides, all of these destructions is what they are. Our illusions of separation have become excuses. We were talking about excuses earlier. You called it something else, but it's created those excuses to be at war, conflict with everything imaginable, real and real and unreal.
Something active has to be causing this. I cannot believe, Fatty. I think our nature is to love one another and to be like fucking puppies and be in a group together. All that nonsense. All of these things cannot be by happenstance. Something has to be stopping us. Personally, I think is that intelligence that God talks about that's here in you. It's not the person, it's the spirit that's trying to talk them into some bad shit. I think there is an active intelligence that's pushing this. And it's not just a Rockefeller, this guy's bad or so-and-so's bad. It is that guy has been able to get to them because of where they were born or whatever. He's a smart dude. He's been tricking motherfuckers forever. He knew how to get to them and put this shit in them. I don't blame the people themselves. And I go to someone hopping up here to you, Jack, and acting up on your panel saying crazy shit. I don't blame them. People are people. They've slipped in this one particular area. They may be fascinating and strong in another, right? I don't knock motherfuckers.
Joe, that's cool. I mean, that's the right way to be. And that is how I try to be, is remind myself, I'm seeing this much of this person. They may be wonderful and amazing elsewhere.
Expectations. We talked about that, right? If you don't have them expectations, they can never let you down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. Humans can disappoint you pretty.
He said they'll find a way. Humans will find a way.
They'll fucking break our hearts.
You're right too. I'm pretty numb. You can do crazy shit in front of me, crazy shit. I don't react. And honestly, it's not like I'm holding it in. That's you. You got to deal with the consequences. You're an adult. I'm good. But you're right. Sometimes you can get away with murder around me, but sometimes you're right. Motherfuckers do manage to get under my fucking skin. No self, no peace. Wait, no self, N-O. Wait, I wonder if he did this shit on purpose. No self, no peace with N-O. Then he says, no self, K-N, no peace. That's dope.
When we don't know ourselves, we will live in chaos and confusion, trying to figure it out, not knowing what is true, bouncing from one idea to another of who we are or what the world is. When we know ourselves, start learning, okay, this is true about me. This is true that I do desire this. This is true that I am good at this. This is true I don't enjoy this. This is true I'm not very skilled at this. When
the best place to get that, Joe, and it sucks and it's hard, is from other sources, though, from other people, what they say about you. And be careful of the critics you choose to believe, because some people have a shitty intent. But that is normally the best place to get that shit. And you're around friends who actually love you and they tell you something. Our response, that includes me, is we all fuck you, man. But take time afterwards, you know what I'm saying? And that's the best place I get my correction. Either that, or when I call myself correcting someone else. Suddenly I'll be like, oh, you nigga follow that your own. That's great advice for your own self. What the fuck are you doing? These are the two big places when I sharpen myself, man.
That's how this world works. It's amazing. The goal is to know ourselves. And what you just said, Joe, the best way to learn who we are, it's from others. And not just others, but what others offer us and what we learn about ourselves through interacting with others.
I understand what you mean.
Lessons come from within.
Right. It ain't something they're actively given. You can pick up. Confucius said that too. It's not a day when I walk with man, woman, or child that they are not my teacher. And the panel gets better. What's good, baby?
Amen.
Hugs, everybody. Hugs. Oh, here's your cupcake. Oh, I hadn't had enough of cupcakes. Here's your cupcake, Fatty, Jesse, Joe,
Thank
Bo,
you.
Jack.
Cupcake.
Yeah.
I wanted Kool-Aid. I thought this was a Kool-Aid party.
We got plenty Kool-Aid here too, buddy.
Well, Flow State's got the Kool-Aid. We just ordered the skull set, the drinking skull set off Amazon. We're gonna have the yeah.
Yes. Have you heard about Zeno, our leader?
I don't know who your leader is, but mine is Jack Talcott.
The Scientology shit, the Zeno. Oh my God, that shit is funny as fuck to me. I know everybody knows Scientology, but a science fiction writer who I used to like transitioned and turned his science fiction books into a religion, and people act like they didn't know that he was just writing science fiction. Suddenly, all that crazy shit he wrote, they now believe. He had motherfuckers attacking each other and dropping atom bombs and volcanoes, and the great Xenu came, and they don't tell their people. It's like the Masons. Until you pay enough money and get to the top level, then they give you handwritten shit from him himself. And it's a story about Xenu and how he took over the world and some spaceships. They look like planes, but they look like 747s, but they weren't. This is really fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, kind of like the Angel Peroni for the Mormons too.
I don't know who that is or what.
I've asked a few times, if America was founded as a exclusively Christian nation, if we were declared a Christian nation, now keep in mind, 55 of the 58 signers were Christians.
Okay? Right.
They fought to make sure that America wasn't established as anything, that it was open to all.
Yeah.
Would Mormonism or would Scientology exist today if we had been founded as a Presbyterian country or as a Baptist country?
I don't. Never been to church. I don't know the difference between Presbyterian, Baptist, Lutheran, Catholic. I don't know the difference. Your preacher, pastor. I don't know the difference.
Well, so it's Catholic and Protestant. There's a bunch of different Protestant, not factions, but groups of Christians. They all believe in Christianity. They believe in Christ. And then there's the Catholics that say that if you don't do it our way, that all the rest of you Christians aren't going to go to the one place that everybody wants to go.
All Christians said that if you're not, like I say, then you go to hell, blah, blah, blah. I thought, that was a hell belief among all Christians.
Well, it's a part of division, and it goes back to the division thing. And I see Jack ready to hop in, and I know it's another wedge, and the fascist way is to divide the divided and keep the divided splintered to where you can't even put a piece of kindling back together, compared to uniting. I mean, like the Buddhist faiths, even the Hindu faiths are more of a create the log, build the log, be the log, compared to split the log and divide the log and burn the log.
Yeah.
Actually, I was trying to pop back in because one of the comments I said about we learn from others. It can be taken. Yeah, we don't want to place too much emphasis on the opinions of others because just like you suggested as well, people change. People will come in carrying stuff and lash out.
That was dope, Lindsay. That was dope.
Ugly. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jack, but that was nice.
No, I agree with the pushback she offered, and the idea though of what I'm suggesting is all of the truth, all of the answers are going to come from within us. So whether someone outside is lying or telling the truth, it's up to us to figure it out. And I think that's something Joe was touching on too, is not allowing the nonsense to be believed.
Yes. All right. This is why I'm sorry if I'm interrupting, but this is why you judge people, right? And you give weight accordingly. I hate to use judge as a word, but we scale them, whatever metric you want to use. If they've let you down 9 out of 10 times, let's say I asked this guy for science advice and he's been wrong every fucking time. So if he's giving me science advice, you know, I judge him here. If judge is the proper word. If a guy has an argument with you, and he comes to tell me about you, I'm barely listening to what he has to say, bro. I don't give a fuck if it's my best friend, because I know humans.
Yeah. Simple Jack.
And like what Lindsay's saying here, it's about knowing oneself. You know,
I dug that. I read that.
We can take other people's input. We can follow another. We can say that that's a good way, that's a good model. But we all are experiencing our own experience. We are in our own perception.
Right.
Having that at least cognitive awareness that you know, that guy is telling me something for a reason. He wants me to follow him for a reason. He wants me to give him money for his new jet for a reason.
All right.
Understanding the reason behind it and the tactics being used against us
is huge. Yes.
Is huge.
Always,
yeah, I mean,
right. Think of that shit like I'm really skeptical. I always assume motherfucker has an angle, even if it's a positive angle. I like to think I got a positive angle when I'm trying to do shit for motherfuckers. But there's always a fucking angle. You figured that out, what motivates a motherfucker, and you're much better in a Sun Tzu sense. You're much better prepared.
Well, that's why I chose Christianity as a foundation for myself. I noticed that people were cherry picking and didn't want to call it Christianity. If I asked them to go, hey, what are the morals of your God, the one that's nurtured from nature that you don't know what it is, but I can explain to you what it is by saying it's God, but you don't want to call it God. But what are your morals? So like, well, it's pretty much like Christianity. All right, then what's going on here, bro?
Yes.
What's going on here, bro? So that's for me. It helps me. That helps find myself and my foundation. Where to start from is choosing a religion that's founded, instead of trying to create my own and cherry pick from the rest, and then trying to make that work for myself somehow and do it, turn it off, turn it on. But no, I have a foundation. I have a direction. I have a way to go, based on thousands of years of everybody else doing it, not me.
I had this thought earlier, and I'm not saying you're doing this. Simple Jack, I love what you're saying, that you found something that works for you, for your structure, your foundation. I love that. What I was thinking about earlier is the selfishness of our human ego, how we are. Humans, we go around and we will acquire things, learn of things, and then become so proud of the things that we've learned, such as a religion or a diagnosis or a belief system. We become so proud of what we learned, and we want to force it off on everybody else without really understanding it. And then we become so attached to these things that we found that we think it is us. We take on the title and the label.
I would agree with that shit. Yes.
And I would agree with Simple Jack that, you know, there's a point where every religion, and really especially in America recently, my way or the highway, do it this way, you know, is God's, you know, God's doesn't, he's not about forced,
right?
You know, there's really no God out of the 14,000 gods that have been created on earth that are obstructionist of all, you know.
Pretty much, yes.
It's an inclusion, you know, it's a love, it's a compassion, it's a, but as human nature is part of, like I said, you know, we learn, and then we want to say this, I've learned this, do this. And to go back to what you're saying there, Cool Joe, K was telling J in the beginning of the first Men in Black.
Okay.
That's something about, you know, the person is fine. The person is great.
He said smart group, is what he said.
The people,
I think.
You know,
he
the
said, yes.
people
He said, what do you mean? Why don't you tell everybody people are smart? He said, a person is smart.
The person is
people
smart.
Are frantic and will panic and blah, blah, and you know it. Yeah, I remember that.
So
You know, and it's
something
easy to get caught
resonated.
up in that, right?
Go ahead,
So,
Jay.
so something on the internet resonated with me yesterday, and someone described it. Well, not described it. This is what happened. There was a chance for the world to be without God. Literally before Jesus, there was no God. There was no knowledge of God.
Right.
That's why he was sent.
I don't know if that's a real
No, like
thing, right?
Adam and Eve were just here. They were just given the tools. There was no book to
Noah,
follow. They
Noah
were
and Moses.
well. Was there a book? Was there a God before? You know, was
No,
there a
but they
book?
followed God. Of course, Noah listened to God and got and built an ark. That was before Jesus.
All right, but I'm just saying
Uh,
there wasn't an established God before then. Someone said, and they were given a chance, and God had to send somebody because people weren't doing it right. We were given a chance, dude.
I would agree. No, I
Well,
absolutely agree.
We were given a chance without God.
I understand what you mean now. Without the instruction and all of that shit. And in that sense, I would say that was God coming through Noah. All of these guys would be people he sent. If you haven't read some of the lost books of the Bible, they talk about how the devil's right hand man was out here running about the earth and fucked up and caught one of the good guys' attention. And they talk about how there was a knock at the gates of hell, and it was Adam saying, you have misstepped, overstepped your boundaries, and the one will be coming to see you. Somehow Jesus, and he comes back in. God damn it! What the fuck did you do? Knock, knock, knock. Moses, all of these prophets we read about were coming one back one to announce that Jesus himself was going to come here and talk to you about what you did. That's good shit.
It's about 80, probably about 80% of all religions ever have had that
Flood story.
coming back, the coming back of the resurrection. You know, the rebirth. You know, so to say, the born again. The do good by thyself right now because Santa Claus is watching, and will come back, and you will not receive that gift.
That story is for us. It really is. I used to look at. I've seen the Bible in so many different perspectives from myself. You know, first something to avoid, and it was, whatever. But it's a story. It's a story of creation that we are the modern version of. We're the new chapter in that book.
Hey, where you going?
If the book keeps
it's
going.
Timeless. Yes, it's timeless.
Well, and the story of the Christ, it's the path for us to actually break away from the world, to humble ourselves, to cleanse ourselves of the past, of the sins and the bad habits we've picked up in our lives, and to carry our cross. Yep, here's where I start. Here's where I start following the way as a better man, as a better woman, as someone who's more authentic and caring and loving. I think God has been around forever. And think about this. What really allows humanity to advance and develop? It's knowledge, right? So God, the ultimate controller, I think sparses out knowledge for us individually and collectively. Now, whether we listen to each other, whether we listen to what ideas we hear within us or around us, we get to choose.
Yeah.
It also looks like when we choose wrong, we encourage that particular spirit or whatever it is to gain a foothold. This is my language, the way I see it. But the more you do a thing, the easier it becomes. Let's say you rob a motherfucker, the robbery becomes evil or more easy the next time. I see it as if you keep doing that negative thing or whatever it is, like if you get up in the morning and you want to make someone's days worse on YouTube, that spirit has gotten a stronger hold on you. It'll be hard to break a month from now. It'll be very difficult, a year from now if you ain't, he'll have a strong foothold, bro.
Yeah, no, I heard a story about a way to represent negativity as like digging a hole, and that really sets like an example for me because before you become positive for digging a hole, you gotta backfill it first. All that. Every time you go negative, you start taking dirt out. But before you even go positive, you
Well,
gotta
you still got
backfill.
dirt.
You
You
gotta,
got
yeah, you gotta fill it back up, and all that work to fill it back up just become level ground again. It's
yes,
difficult. So it is a
yeah,
rut to get out of, and I've learned like
yes,
it's just. I learned when I heard that, that made sense that it takes twice as hard to get out of negative than it is to be
yeah.
positive.
As
It took a
lost
while.
into yes, right,
Until it's
right.
not, until we overcome it. And once we get through that, we get that feeling, that sense of achievement, that sense of strength,
Yes,
knowing we've
yes,
overcome
yes.
that level of sadness, anger, darkness.
Now you're building and you're climbing because I was able to beat smoking. I know I have willpower. Now I'm going after meat. I'm gonna stop doing this or whatever.
That's
You
it.
know, once you now you can build as opposed to digging a hole for yourself, being a negative fuck every day, leaving people in your wake.
You got to be able
Joe,
to pat yourself on the back once in a while. It's not
that's the
okay. It's not.
You do, Jack.
It's
You
okay.
do.
It's okay. You got to be able to tell yourself, "Good job," and you're
Not
not going
just
to break your
massage,
arm.
bro.
You don't want to
Really get
break
in
your
there.
arm.
Pat that back. Don't massage. Pat your
Hold your
back, bro.
shoulder out, giving
Don't
yourself a massage, but
Yeah.
you got
yeah,
to
why
be
you
able to
back
do that.
there pat a couple
We're not
times? Yeah.
programmed. We're not. We at least from my perception of the Disney generation programming that men have been programmed to be the prince that fights forever and will
yeah.
Yeah.
always fight and fight and fight, but will
Yes.
lose the princess, but continue to fight for her because that's what the Disney character did, and
'Cause
that's
she's
kind of
stubborn as that.
what a lot of our
Check
religion
this.
tells us as well. Is that
The
it's
new
not okay to
programming
just
is a
leave
little
somebody.
the new program's a little different, Fatty. The
Yeah,
new
yeah,
program and what will come along with like the Al Bundy days and shit is that the man in every commercial and shit is so dumb, and the wife has to do everything. Oh, Bill can't do a excuse me, Lord, he can't do a thing right. That's the new programming. Men are worthless
yeah.
and dumb, and the woman has
Hierarchy
to.
change.
He can't find a clean shirt if it wasn't for his woman.
Joe, I wouldn't have even thought about that 3 months ago until it was pointed out to me, and I really kind of dug in on Discord and the Twitch and the Kick
Uh,
live streaming stuff.
it's,
There's a real big movement right now that I didn't even kind of realize was going on. That it's not
yeah,
even
there's a
necessarily movement,
reaction
but
to that.
it's talking. It's conversations that as a society, society has to define things. We have to have labels because that's our easy way of saying
I'm
that's
okay
what
with
that
it
is.
as a identifier. That's okay.
Sure, yeah,
As just an
and
identifier. He's a tall white dude at the end of the block. As
the
an
bigger it
identifier, when you
gets, the
start
bigger it
thinking,
gets,
I
the
mean,
bigger it gets.
because he's a white guy, he does. When you start bringing shit into it, it gets fucked up.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I want to bring it back to something you said, Joe, about getting that momentum going, getting that
Yeah,
feeling of
yeah,
accomplishment, and you
yeah,
saw it too, Uncle Fatty. Is in my own self. For me, the greatest victory was when I finally faced my drinking. And then
yeah,
once I got through that, I remember this thought. I was sitting in the room of AA, going to my regular meetings, seeing these guys with 20, 30 years of sobriety going to the regular meetings. And I was like, I don't want that. I didn't want to be here in 20 years, 30 years. That's not the future for me. So I saw, and no criticism, but something in the case I experienced, I saw a lot of people like me found that goal of getting sober, and then they didn't find another. Well, I
dope,
found a way
dope.
to use that. Oh shit, I found a way to get sober. I might be able to do more. What might I be able to accomplish if I actually set my mind to it? And then I dropped over 50 pounds very quickly, transformed my health, my mind, my spirit. Find goals
You get
every
a few
day.
victories under your belt and you're
Yeah,
off and running. Yeah.
yes.
There's some folks, I think, Jack, that get into the AA lifestyle and just switch addictions from being addicted to chaos and whatever through alcohol. They're more addicted to chaos and whatever through the sobriety group and just the part of the
Wait,
group and the
is that a
acceptance
thing?
that you
Is that
get,
a I know this was to Jack, but is that a thing? Is there that chaos? Is there an addiction? I would have assumed there was a bonding there because you've been through the same shit. I wouldn't have thought it was like going to a drama room or anything. And I've been to a couple of AA meetings, and I don't drink, never have.
Everyone has their own things, and Chuck, you're right. I won't diminish that. Some people go to help others, but here, this is part of our human conditioning, though, too. We do things saying we're going to do it for others, but really, it's just for ourselves. And we're doing it because we're comfortable with the routine. And while there is benefit,
wow.
Hey, I know what you're saying, Jack. I do 100%. There's guys that are 40-year guys that are still dailies, and that's huge. That's huge for that group. And I don't think it's Messiah complex. I don't think they're doing that to be able to pat themselves on the back later as a braggadocious. I help society, and you should honor me because I'm a helper. But no, it's not that. They do want to help. They do want to be somebody there that a freshly recovering person can have as a mentor, can have as a sponsor, because that is the group, and that's in reality that's every group. That's
amen. And please let me correct. Right? I want to correct my arrogance, so I don't come across as arrogant. I honor, and honestly, some of those old timers in those rooms, they gave me strength. They shared their strength with me because I got to see that example. So I'm very appreciative of that, but for me, that was not my role.
Right. And I know what you're saying there. That's not. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine myself in 10 years going to dailies, but that's just my experience. That's I'd rather have somebody out on a sailboat and teach them how to sail or something. There's so many things you can do to get sober, like learn a new something, learn a new hobby.
Learning.
Let me ask both of you guys, since both of you guys know about this. Is this a possible thing where they've been there so much now it's become their identity and they can't leave, kind of like a flat earther? There's no going back, right? Is that a thing? They've been so much, it's their identity, and so now they're going to be caught in some type of loop over there as opposed to moving on. They can't leave. Motherfucker, here's my 12-year chip, if there is such a thing.
They joined the club.
I'm going for 13. I can't leave.
They joined the team. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Joining the team is not a bad thing. Joining a club is not a bad thing.
I would agree. I was thinking in terms of these cats with the dailies. They had me thinking, are they neglecting other shit, not living? It made me think it was a crutch. I didn't know there was a thing as dailies, so I just heard him say it, and I assume it means you go to a meeting every fucking day.
Yep. Some guys go 3 to 6 times a day, brother.
Yep.
And it takes that. It takes that. And when you really have the drive to want to go to meetings for the meeting, yes, because you're at that point where if you drink one more time, you'll die.
And I trust that if the guy felt that and he went there, I totally understand. That makes SJ right. That there's nothing wrong with joining the group. In fact, right here, it was helpful. But it's just such a thing as the guy who has that urge, he's got to go to 6 a day. I'm assuming he just stopped. It's just such a thing as a guy who's years down the line and still has to go multiple times. That's a thing. Oh my God, that's such suffering.
Yeah,
and the suffering,
I feel that way. You have to
go through the suffering to want it. If you don't want the change, you're going to just be another guy on probation whose judges told you to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. You're going to be stuck in that. That war on drugs system of keeping people in probation, of keeping people locked into these spots of forced control, because we don't want to jail you. We want you to have your freedom. But every time you miss a UA, every time you show up to group late,
every time you can't pay that payment,
it's a way of fee that comes with forcing social acceptance, maybe, but it's also a way of us, more than anything else, what AANA, what recovery is all about is learning self-control.
Yep. I hope you remember your thought, SJ. trying to get in a while ago.
I hate to do this, like to sound like a spiritual guru, but it just sounds like those people accepted an idea, but actually haven't spiritually connected. So they just need something to fill in that hole because substituting going to AA for every day for the next 20 years sounds like an addiction to me.
Dope.
In a way, especially as a fresh,
they never found that. That was profound,
the
SJ. They never found the connection. They're just going
They
through
never
the
filled the
motions.
hole.
That sounds so
they never
logical.
filled it, dude.
Yes,
they never filled it.
Yes,
but a lot of them do get, and I know one guy for 100%. He gets really good, self-fulfillment out of being a coach and being a coach in AA and recovery, especially when you can't go out and do the sportsy stuff and.
These are the things.
And being a mentor, being a leader, and really doing it from an honest place. It's easy to find those guys, and it is what the group is all about. The old timers absolutely 100% make those groups what they are, and the camaraderie, family, the wanting and knowing of what. It's not because you want to know every detail, but in the group setting, I'm going to tell you, this is what's happened with me and my family. I'm going to mention names. Over time, you're going to learn. You begin to love and respect each other.
What is the point?
Be nice, Jack. I understand that he just does not stop talking sometimes. It's kind of a quirk of his. And Fatty, be more aware. When you hear some audible, someone else trying to get in, relinquish sometime, bro. Even if you haven't finished, relinquish sometime. Let's not get mad at each other.
And I'm not, and I don't mean to be rude. I don't. Okay.
I gotta turn my volume up on this thing. I barely got anything coming back.
Maybe that's part of it too.
The point would be
that's
right. There's nothing better. There's nothing better for a recovering person to have those old timers, to have those new timers, to be able to experience both sides. And when guys get caught up in that old switching addictions, a lot of people think that AA and stuff is just switching addiction from.
The whole point is learning. You said it a while back. The whole point of it is learning, relearning how to live in a different way. And there is something to our learning process. We intellectualize things first, but until it's brought into our knowing and into our actual state of being, I think that might be where Simple Jack was talking about. And maybe because I know I've done this too. Intellectually, we know something, and in these rooms, they know the words. God bless my dad. My dad's been sober since I think 88, the year I met him. And I know he's been dedicated to the cause of AA, and he's regular with the meetings, and he's one of those old timers who carries the structure.
No, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just pointing out stuff, and we're talking, right? So I'm not trying to argue, but I do point out things that are very interesting.
Yeah.
So when someone says, this person is doing this to help this person to receive these endorphin hits of happiness. That's not true spiritual connection, bro. That's another endorphin hit.
Of course it's not.
You're looking to find somebody. You're looking to find somebody to save. Come on, that's another endorphin hit. That's not personal. That's all emotional. That's all something else. That's not a spiritual connection, dude. To me, a spiritual connection is conquering that chapter, embracing it, and moving on to the next chapter, and not trying to come back and save somebody else so you can feel that. So you can feel
SJ, that. Must you still, if you've somehow learned something and you kind of graduating class and these guys haven't learned the lesson, I think it's still within your spirituality to want to share that lesson with others. It doesn't mean that I'm doing it for the dopamine hit or the serotonin.
But I don't hang out at high school after graduating.
Totally understand. If I see that guy in the street, I'm going to give you the best advice I can.
In my forward journey through life, I will help out through the knowledge gained. I'm not gonna hang out in high school after graduating, bro.
20 fucking
There-
years later.
There is a distinction to this, though, because that is built into the process of this program is stick around, lend a hand, help the next guy out, become a sponsor, and kind of
Now, if you are
Is
sticking
it?
around to be a teacher, a sponsor, then that's your purpose there at
Yeah.
that school. But if
Yeah.
you're just there and you're not certified, that's hanging out, bro.
Right, that's your new place to hang out, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
that's
But
just
isn't a
hanging
lot
out.
of that part of the isn't a lot of that part of the AA part is because we've been so divided socially that it's a place where people can actually come together and have, relationships with other people. There's a place where you can actually meet people because in such a divided society, people need that societal structure, that need that communication, which, for a lot of people, they've been kind of put away from that because of situation and circumstance.
Totally
That's
agree,
what I want to
Jesse.
ask you, Jesse. Hold on, don't on mic yet, Jesse.
And for the newcomer that's just coming into the groups that's either sentenced by a judge or that really wants to get sober, two different things. That group, that family that you have to create, because you had that family, you had that group at the bar, you had your pool league buddies, you had your hunting and fishing buddies, you had your weekend buddies, you had the guy after work buddies. Creating that family is definitely huge.
I think you just
part of the
answered the
experience.
question that I was going to ask Jesse. I was going to say he started off with alcoholics might need that closeness because they've been cut out. I'm not very familiar with the alcoholic shit, but I assumed all of them had a million friends and were getting drunk somewhere at a pub, and there was no social so and so. But you made me think of something else, Fatty. If you quit drinking, you got to quit those fucking circles, and you definitely need a replacement.
That's what. Yes, you're still hanging around the same group with a different identifier.
Hey,
you can't soar with the eagles when you're hanging out with the turkeys.
That's true. We do become like those we associate with, and that's why there's a benefit. If you want to break free from the addicts, go associate with people who are intentionally sober. And that's kind of the idea. What I learned for myself in the rooms of AA was kind of what's being discussed. I learned how to have a healthy relationship with honesty rather than just enablers. I mean, I had friends.
I understand, yeah.
And being able to actually have a relationship with yourself.
Congratulations,
but
Jack.
Jack,
Congratulations, dude.
yeah, your point is a very good point. A lot of those people who you thought were friends, they were not really friends. They were just enablers, and you thought that's what a friendship looked like. So you have to redefine it and re-understand it. That's a good point.
That's exactly it. And that's where I learned that America is filled with enablers, because I'm a product of society. Our society is filled with enablers. That's why we've got oppressive governments and censorship and stuff. But the other side of the rooms and the greatest part of relationships was learning how to trust another man and another person, and learning how to trust myself, that it was okay to be honest with someone else, to be vulnerable with someone else. In some way, it was kind of a free counseling service with someone who didn't know what the hell they were doing either, but they cared.
That's a lot of it is just being able to have a place to talk about things too. Just having a group mentality, person versus group, of being able to not be able to shit your way into any one of those groups, because they're going through the same thing, and they're folks that are very in tune with being lied to, being cheated, being fucked over, being in the drug game, being in the alcohol game, being in that game of that they're trying to, create new muscle memory in your brain. The things you do over and over are the easiest to that snowball effect of life.
Earlier, I
creating
said if you do a
new
bad
momentum,
thing,
creating it. Yeah, man.
earlier I said if you do a bad thing, it's easier to do. If you steal something, it's easier the next time. The same thing is
Yeah.
what you're saying. If you do a good thing, it becomes easier the next time.
Yes.
I truly believe that because I really went in strong when I learned it's not a big sin to say I was wrong. Every fucking opportunity I got, my bad, I was wrong. Or, I
Hey,
jump out on limbs just to, and when I think I may be wrong, just to be wrong. So I say, you're right, I'm wrong, and to show that it
Yeah.
don't hurt.
You don't
You
have to win
know,
every battle or
Failure.
war.
yes.
Facing failure is the hardest thing that humans do. Is our adversity through failure. Do you get back on that horse, or
You
do you
must,
shoot the freaking horse and walk home?
well,
you must get back on. I don't know. Now,
No,
sometimes you
Denise,
may have to
you're not
shoot the horse,
invisible.
but
We can see you in the chat.
uh, I didn't see the chat. But Denise, if that's the Denise from earlier, I hope you know that was a fucking joke. Is that the same Denise that from earlier when I cracked the trans joke and
Yeah,
she
we can
left
see
your
you.
panel?
yeah,
Welcome back.
I think it
All right.
is.
All
Yeah,
right,
you're
Denise. I was just cracking a joke. I'm not even trans, Denise. You know.
Hey, I want to jump back on the thing with the meetings too. Something Jesse said reminded me. Early in my sobriety, I was one of those guys. I was doing 5 meetings a day because that's what I
Yeah,
felt I needed.
I
And
dig
in doing that, it exposed me to a whole bunch of different people. Because in the past, I mean, I'm a labor guy. I hung out with labor guys, and
it.
we
Yeah,
talked about
that was
well.
just social group and so and so. Yeah.
I found an early morning meeting filled with professionals. There's doctors,
Very
Yeah,
good.
man.
and then
Early morning meetings are great.
my later meetings, I think there was about 6 of us, and there was like 40 years of prison time there in the room,
Right.
and I've never been.
Right.
So I met a lot of different people dealing with the same shit in different ways, and
Did you learn
realized,
people are people, right? That's what I get out of every fucking day when someone tries to tell me this guy is different because at my age, I still hear motherfucker tell, but the Jews are greedy, but I still gotta hear that shit, man. It always seems to reverberate with me. People are fucking people. If you look at it like that, then everybody's able to make a fucking flaw. Everybody does make flaw. Why am I getting so fucking out of joint? Because this dude is wrecked in this area. I got my own issues. My anger shit has always been a fucking issue with me. I may not do whatever troll this guy does or whatever, but in real life, I was a fucking terror, man. Fuck. Praise God. It's like the alcoholic shit. You got to take off a few weeks and then you could take off months and fuck, really. The
You got to be able to
guy.
recognize those patterns. Is what it's really goes down to. Is recognizing the patterns in yourself, in the groups that you're with, and the
Yeah.
tendencies, how those
Yeah.
patterns trigger certain different actions, and our feelings are created by our surroundings and how
Oh,
that
check
whole
this out. Check this out. When you're smart, it sucks because you know those guys and you use them to trigger you in that way. When you want to be in a shitty, do something shitty like steal. I got a lot of friends. That's what they do. They hang around those guys who will encourage them to do that. All right. It's a shitty way to think. If you want to be around violent, you ask your violent friends for advice, knowing that they're going to give you the worst fucking advice. Yeah.
we find the answers we want. And actually, I don't mean to do this, throw a wrench, but we're coming up on 3.5 hours. I think it's time
Yeah,
to
I'm
wrap
groovy,
it up.
baby. Yeah. I still got work to do. This was supposed to be a couple-hour break. It was fucking fun and marvelous and all of that shit. Sorry I didn't get to hear more from fucking Jesse, man. But
Always a great time, Jack. Thank you. Hugs, guys. Hugs.
Simple Jack.
He's over there writing down some questions for his new show coming out next week.
No, just making some food. But thanks again for holding the space, and we'll see you next time we see you. And may the source be with y'all.
Respect. Thank you, Jesse. God bless. Uncle Fatty, thank you, brother. Anything parting?
Enjoy life, baby.
That's
just enjoy
it.
the ride. That's all you can do is just enjoy the ride, man.
That's it, man. All right. Thank you, Uncle Fatty. Appreciate all who joined, everyone. New Guru, thank you. I hope all in the chat had fun. Denise, thanks for joining. Joe Cool, Jesse. See, I always forget people when I start naming. Thank you to all who joined. Sincerely, I appreciate it. The purpose of my time here is to hopefully share some entertainment, some more so, some conversations and some topics, discussions on some topics that hopefully you can find some benefit from. You can find some inspiration and maybe some encouragement, because that's what life is about. Hey, welcome back, Denise. You dropped out kind of suddenly earlier.
Oh yeah, I was having connection problems, so I really didn't know what was being talked about. And when I got back in, all of a sudden, this guy's saying something that I couldn't figure out if he was joking or asking me and telling me he was tran. And then I was trying to think of, well, which direction are you tran in? Because it wasn't making any sense. And so I just said, oh, I'm out of here. Bye. I wasn't mad at him or nothing.
Did you have something final to offer? I was wrapping up
But,
when you should wrap up.
Oh, yeah. No, just thank you for everything and keep on keeping on. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, because you're doing something most people don't do, which is you're trying to exert some control, but at the same time, you're letting a certain amount of stuff happen that it's really hard to strike a balance the way I think you're trying to do.
Well,
Machine Lies is live. I gotta go see what he's up. Oh, by the way, Jack, do you remember the reason I had come up the first time was you had invited me to check your channel out over on Machine Lies' channel, his panel, maybe a week or so ago.
Okay.
And you didn't know who I was. You didn't seem to remember that. And I just like, oh, well.
Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate you joining. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm going to drop you out, do my final words, and I may very well go visit Brother Machine Lies in a little bit. Who knows? I think, what day is this? Saturday night. It's supposed to be a night of social atmosphere. You know, I'm enjoying the life. The goal, the topic that I wanted to offer, and I'll drop this briefly at the end again, the benefit of being present, being one with your presence in the present. That doesn't mean being self-centered and focused on just you. It means focused on the present. The present is the gift that keeps being. So we get to be each day, each moment, we get to choose. What are we going to do? What do we want to do? More importantly, what do we want to be? Brothers and sisters, if you're going to be, we can be filled with lack, filled with emptiness, filled with shame, filled with regret, filled with anger. You can fill yourself with anything you want through the power of your mind and imagination. But what I encourage, what I found helpful for me, you do what you want to do, but what I found helpful for me is kind of accepting a lot of the truth that could be, such as, how do I achieve the mind of a child when I'm a 50-year-old man? What would a child think? How does a child think? Well, a child is curious. A child is grateful, curious. As adults, we can certainly lose sight of those, the curiosity and gratitude, but you combine curiosity and gratitude together from a place of humility, it's easy to find. And so from a place of humility, you can strengthen yourself with gratitude and curiosity to become one with you, to unlearn that which you've learned that wasn't right for you, because you are amazing. You are divine. You are what you believe. Till next time, brothers and sisters, please join again, do the subscribe thing, hit the like button, and we'll see what happens next time. Till then, Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you again. God bless.